The glory of God and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Which day is the Sabbath day? The seventh day is Saturday. Yesterday is the Sabbath day. The seventh day is Saturday. What do we keep? We keep the first day. What do we keep as a Sabbath day? We keep the first day. Who changed it? It is the Catholic Church. Who changed it? It is the Catholic Church. What is the third commandment? The third commandment is to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. What are we commanded by the third commandment? Is to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. What are we commanded by the third commandment? By the third commandment, we are commanded to keep the Sabbath day holy. Are the Sabbath day and Sunday the same? The Sabbath day and Sunday are not the same. Are the Sabbath day and Sunday the same? The Sabbath day and Sunday are not the same. Which day is the Sabbath day? The seventh day is Saturday. Yes, which day is the Sabbath day? The seventh day is Saturday. Who changed it? It is the Catholic Church. They change it. Who changed it? It is the Catholic Church. The Sabbath day is the seventh day of the week and not Sunday. Yes, the Sabbath day is the seventh day of the week and not Sunday.
right, Shalom. Shalom, all praise the Lord to Yahweh Shem Mashak Yahweh Shai. Shabbat Shalom. We back for another installment, for the continuing installment of the Torah portion. This week's Torah portion with Isaiah Yasha'Allah, Mashara Yasha'Allah, Bun Yasha'Allah, myself, Marakar, E37 Ministry, A.O.I, Army Visual. Headquarters. Okay, so all praise go to the Most High. Those that was here this morning, I got some good information, good conversation. We was able to do some ministry with the brother Haran, and this let the spirit flow. So we gonna get back to the Torah portion. Sister Rashwan, Rav Karatazai Yasha'Allah put up Genesis 28:10-32. Then we got the prophets, Hosea 12, chapter 12, verse 12-14, and Gospel John 1:41-51. All right, so we're gonna go to Genesis 38, right? 28 is a lot, and go to verse 10.
The book of Genesis, chapter 28 and verse 10. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of Elohim ascending and descending on it. And behold, Yahweh stood above it and said, I am Yahweh Elohim of Abraham, thy father, and the Elohim of Isaac. The land whereupon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed.
Right. So the Most High is making a covenant right now. Okay, with Jacob. He's in the, obviously is a vision. Okay, a dream, right? Where he is seeing a ladder reaching up to the heavens. Okay. And he see angelic beings, celestial beings ascending and descending, right? Like when you read Proverbs 30, it was a question that was asked. And let me see if I can get it right quick. Proverbs 30 and verse 2, I believe it is. It says, 4, who have ascended up into heaven or descended? Angels, right? Angelic forces, right? Who have gathered the winds in his fist? Right? Of course, you could say Yahweh, right? But when you read Hebrews 1:1 of Mashiach Yahweh is being mentioned that he created the worlds. Who have bound the waters in the garment, who have established all the ends of the earth. What is his name? You know that's Yahweh, first of all. And then it comes back and say, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Right? So just as when you read about, let me go here right quick. Right, Job, what's that? The first chapter. And we read Job, the first chapter. Let me go there right quick. Verse 7. Verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came also among them. Satan was there on this day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves, right? All these angels that ascend and descend, celestial beings, right? You know, the Christian church talk about he was kicked out of heavens. So why is he talking to the Most High? Why he's considered one of the sons of God, right? And Yahweh said unto Satan, whence comest thou? then answered Yahweh and said, then Satan answered Yahweh and said, from going to and fro in the earth, right? Ascending and descending, and from walking up and down in it, right? So I just want to bring a couple of those things also mentioned about Satan and Peter's. So he saw these celestial beings ascending and descending. Like there's angels all around us. When you read these different accounts in the book of the Maccabees, when Most High opened his spiritual eye, and King David as well, and they was able to see the angels fighting alongside with them when they was at war. That's what scriptures talk about. It's the Most High that wins the battle. Don't be afraid, because he's fighting with us when he give us the approval. Right? So Genesis 28, going back to verse 11. No, 13 now. So I'll read 12 again. He dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth. Right? So there's a long ladder on the earth all the way up to the heavens. And the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of Yahweh ascending on it. And behold, Yahweh stood above it and said, so the Most High is on top, at the tip top of this ladder. Okay, and said, I am Yahweh, the power of Abraham, thy father, and the power of Isaac. So he's letting himself known to Jacob. The land wherein thou liest to give, will I give it into thy seed. So where he's placed these stones and took a nap and laid down, he's telling them that he was going to give. This is obviously the promised land. All right, the land of Canaan. And thy seed should be as the dust of the earth. Anybody can count the dust? And thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. So the Lord already told us in Genesis that Israel's going to be all over the world, all over the globe. Right? Been prophesied. Okay. And thy seed, offspring, children. Some people got a problem with the word seed. Like, it doesn't mean semen. It doesn't mean seed of copulation. Children, offspring. Okay? So if you see the word seed and it's talking about a man, that means children. Let's just stop playing games. Right? Shall all the families of the earth be blessed? Why? Because all these nations been blessed through the children of Israel. When every captivity we was in, them nations flourished. Right? The children of Israel. Okay? You see? And when we was in our own kingdom, we flourished. All right? But when you read the scriptures, if they Genesis 12:3 said, blessed be him that blesseth thee, and cursed be them that curseth thee. All right? So those that want to decide to use the curses and destroy us, you right? They're going to get judged. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again to this land. So this is a promise to 3 men thus far: Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know what I'm saying? Jacob have been like, nah, man, you tripping. What am I smoking? Some of the mandrakes? I'm hearing voices. You have to have faith too. Right? And bring thee again to this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee. I will not leave thee until I've done that which I have spoken of thee of.
Salaklia.
Mm-hmm.
Tuada, I want to pull a script real quick. I won't be long at all. It's,
no, take your time.
Tuada. I want to pull Hosea chapter 3 real quick. I'm sorry, not Hosea. I apologize. It's Joel. And the reason being is because the way that this verse is worded, understanding Genesis chapter 28 will help you to understand what the Most High is saying. Okay, so for everybody that's watching, are we screen sharing? We should be screen sharing. Okay. All right. So Genesis chapter 28 and Joel chapter 3. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 28, and everything that the elder was saying is on point. So Genesis chapter 28, verse 15, and it reads, now this is a promise of the Most High. He says, and behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in all places where thou goest. And look what the Most High says. He says, and I will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done which I have spoken unto thee. Now, this promise has to go beyond our father Jacob.
Right.
Why? Amen. Why? He says, this promise goes beyond our father Jacob because in verse 14, he says, and thy seed. So this is talking about Jacob's children, Jacob's seed, Jacob's sperm. All right. His children. So he says, and thy seed, thy children, shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt
you still there? Can y'all hear Zaya? Can y'all hear me? If you can hear me, let me know in the chat. For sure. Look like he dropped off. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat, please. For sure. Am I in the video? Okay. Here is Flowers East. Okay. All right. So I guess we'll wait till he come back. He's about to bring a scripture out. I don't remember the scripture he said. I was looking at something else. But we was in Genesis, and he said, let's just give him a second to come back in. Mina Jizzes, what's going on, sisterins? What's going on? I see you be traveling, boy. I see you. I see you. So yeah, that scripture, right? It couldn't been that he wasn't gonna that was gonna happen at that particular time. Okay. Verse 15 says, and behold, I am with thee and bring thee in all places where thou goest, and bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I've done that which I have spoken of thee of. So obviously this was a future prophecy because one, he said his seed was going to be of the dust of the earth. So that means if that was going to happen right then, boy, that man must have had 1 million wives and lay with each one of them. It was going in. And literally, and how long would that took? To get 1 million worlds. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, it's a prophecy, a futuristic prophecy, okay, about what was going to take place. You know what I'm saying? So when he said, I will not leave thee, it was this talk about his lineage because Jacob died. All right, Jacob ain't lived forever to see his offspring as the dust of the earth, right? He didn't live to see that. All right, so you know we may get a lot of promises and stuff like that, but doesn't mean it's actually going to happen in your lifetime. Okay, so you know when you first come to this truth, you have this euphoria. You know, you excited about the word, you know what I'm saying? We in the end, you know what I'm saying? You know, some people be saying the Most High is on his way, like they know the time and season and date. The earth, the Mother Earth ship is on its way, is coming. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, the Most High is coming whenever Yahweh is coming whenever the Most High said he's coming, right? But a lot of people, you know, to me, over the years, just seeing everybody say we in the last time. Well, we was in the last time since Yahweh telling he was 1 and 1. A lot of people try to act like, you know, he's coming tomorrow. You came in the truth yesterday. You know what I'm saying? He could. He could. It's possible he could come right now. You see what I'm saying? But I've been in this truth for 29, not 40 years. 29, right? And, you know, I'm still here, right? So when the Most High told Jacob he would not leave thee, I will not leave thee till I've done that which I've spoken of thee of, it was not literally talking about him, because he ain't had children that equals to the dust of the earth. Jacob represent Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. But Gakko, sorry, you back. I was stalling until you got back.
Okay, Thawada, where did it come off at? Where did it cut off at?
You was at 15. You was about to edify that the time frame there against the prophecy.
Oh wow. Okay, so it cut off a second. Okay, so it didn't go. I didn't read Joel 3 yet.
No, we didn't get to get that, bro. You was in stuck worlds.
Okay, Thawada. So Joel chapter 3. Joel chapter 3, and let me start our screen share so everybody can see this. All right, Joel chapter 3. I had pulled the song up because you was talking about how he's coming back, right?
Dang, it's gonna be all right. He's coming back. Hey, like he said he would. The classics.
Classics. All right, so make sure that everybody get this.
Got right doing Hebraics.
We can't, yeah, man, the Hebraics will be great on that. We can't let too much of that song play because we don't want to have any issues. But that's a great song, Al Green, Reverend Al Green. Everything will be all right. He's coming back like he said he would. So in Joel chapter 3, verse 1, it says, "For behold, in those days and in that time," you have to pay attention to this phrase. This is
in that time, right?
Right. This is a future phrase. You have 3 future phrases all together. Behold. Behold means to look upon or to look forward or gaze upon or look at. So behold is a future phrase. In those days, that's a future phrase. In that time, right, that's a future phrase. So you have 3 phrases right here that all refers to a future context. Behold, in those days, in that time. He says, I shall bring again.
I shall.
There you go. Thank you. So that's 4
that
future
shall
phrases.
Is future.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Remember that. Remember this, y'all. I don't care where you read it at. Shall don't mean right then, at that time. Shall is future, like Luke, the 1st chapter. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Amen. Excellent point. So that's 4 future phrases, and that's why 2 is better than 1. And a three-chord strand is not easily broken. I might count 3, and the elder be like, "No, look, this next one is 4." So it's better if we work together as a nation. And if you're a rib, and if you're in a plural marriage, because I'm always going to plug the poly worlds because we're supposed to work together as a nation. Listen, if you're a daughter, and if you're in the truth, and if your husband's a polygynist, then follow, work with, help your husband, be poly with him. 2 is better than 1, and the 3-chord strand is not easily broken.
That's
your
right.
husband might miss. Your husband might say 3, and then you'll come along and say, "Wait, husband, there's actually 4." And then now the 2 of you have worked together to bring a better understanding. So I encourage, I salute, and I commend every daughter of Israel who's humbled themselves and who are operating in the polygyny mentality that our forefathers and our foremothers used to live in. I'm plugging poly to the end. I'm poly game all day. All right. And it's so beautiful because I'm actually content. I'm done with a certain aspect. So Joel chapter 3, verse 1. "For behold, in those days," behold, future, in those days, future, and in that time, future, "when I shall," future. Now here go another one. He says, "bring again." And that's the same thing that we see in the book of Genesis chapter 28, he says, bring again. So let's go back to it. All right. So we're in 28. And what verse did we leave off from? Unfortunately,
Genesis 28, I think it's 15.
15, okay. 28, 15. And behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in all places where thou goest. Look at what the Most High says. And will bring thee again into the land. Now, does this physically mean that Jacob himself with his 2 legs will bring? No, it means Jacob's children will be brought again. And the way that this word is written, it can be very encryptic if you don't understand how to read it, but it's not. All right, it's very easy. When he says bring again, that means it's going to happen another time. So when he says in, let's go back to Joel chapter 3, he says, I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. This is southern kingdom and northern kingdom. All right. Again, salute to our brother Hadan and all of our southern kingdom brothers. All right. So he says, so the point is to show is that in the book of Joel chapter 3, he says, shall bring again the captivity, which in other words, our captivity is going to be ended. He's going to bring us back into the land. Now, I encourage everybody to get familiar with Joel chapter 3, because the title of this right here says nations will be judged. In Joel chapter 3, we find a few things. One, the Most High is going to deliver us and bring us back home. He says he's going to gather all nations and he's going to judge them at the valley of Jehoshaphat, which means he's going to point his finger and say, I remember what you did to my daughters. I remember what you did to my sons. I remember what you did to my people. You parted my land. See, so Joel chapter 3 is very powerful, but one of my favorite parts in the book of Joel chapter 3 is Joel chapter 3 and verse 8. He says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for Yahweh hath spoken it. I really like this part of the verse because it shows us that he who leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. This is an excellent precept for this. The Most High tells us that we are going to sell the other nations into the hands of the Sabians. He says the people that are far off. Now, when you look into the whole Sabian thing, you're going to find some interesting information. I won't speak on it too much, but the fact of it is this right here. The Most High will bring us again, just like he said he would do in the book of Genesis chapter 28, verse 15, and I yield the floor. Do you want me to pick up reading?
Yeah, that's fine.
Amen. Genesis chapter 28, verse 15, and it reads, and behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken of thee. Spoken to thee of. Verse 16. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep and said, surely Yahweh is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of A.O.I, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took stones that he had put for his pillows and set up a pillar and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of that city was called Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if A.O.I be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, Bahadarak Anyahalak. That's a very important phrase, the way. All right, when you see the way, that really means something special. So I'll yield the floor. All right, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace. Then shall Yahweh be my A.O.I, and this stone which I have set up for a pillar shall be A.O.I's house. As of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give a tenth unto thee. Repeat after me, Israel. What we're going to do is I'm going to say the Kol HaShirah. The elder will repeat it after the reader, and then all of the rest of the people will repeat it after the elder. So I'll start off after we finish every every chapter in the Old Testament pertaining to the law. We say, Kol HaShirah,
Kol HaShirah,
Debar Yahweh,
Debar Yahweh,
Na'aisha,
not Aisha.
Why not Shammai?
Why not Shammai?
All that Yahweh has said.
All that Yahweh has said.
Will we do?
Will we do?
And hear.
And hear.
Excellent job as a community, everyone. I could hear your voices. Make sure you repeat after the elder. The job of the reader is only to read, but you're actually following after the elder who has seniority in the wisdom. So with that being said, our grandparents, we said, all that Yahweh has said will we do and hear. We said this multiple times in the scriptures. This is a more intricate way of saying amen. So the reader says it, the elder says it, and then the people says it after the elder. All right. Anything you want to bring out from there, Zaquan, from Genesis 29? I mean 28?
No.
All right. Genesis 29 it is. No sweat. Genesis
29.
No,
I do. Matter of fact, 17, when he said, and he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? There is none other but the house of the Most High, and this is the gate of heaven. Right? So, and he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? That is none other but the house of God. So what does that mean to some of you out there? Anybody want to type what you get out of that sentence based off the context? When he was talking about the ladder and, you know, ascending and descending and mentioning this place and being afraid and dreadful and mention the house of God. What house of God? What was the house of God? Well, I was there. Because we understand this is the promised land, because he said he may give you this land. So where were they exactly? Were they in the city of David? That was the place was going to be called the city of David. Or was this the land, the exact land where the temple of Jerusalem was going to be built by Solomon? You know, what about all of the feats, you know, of salvation through the warfare that the Most High delivered us from the hands of our enemies, that they was able. This land is a special land. It's the most, when you read it, I think it's 2nd Ezra 7, I believe it is, it goes into the Most High chose one pit, one land, which is the Canaan, Palestine known today, right? And, you know, there's scripture that attached the promised land to the Garden of Eden. So wouldn't it be spiritually in that particular part that he was able to see the celestial beings when the Most High opened the spirit and seeing, he could have been seeing futuristic events, destruction falling upon Israel, destruction falling on the heathens. We can talk about a lot of different things, but you know, maybe do a breakdown on it, you know, with some brothers and all that. But that's it. We go to the next chapter, right? 29.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. Next chapter, the book of Genesis, chapter 29. Bara'ashiyath. And for those of you who are watching Baba Kushah, please share this out. All right. And help the other family members to be able to participate in the listening and reading of this week's Torah portion. Now, remember, when we finish each segment, we say, Kala Shirah, the body of Hawa, Nashmai, which means all that the Most High said will we do and hear. All right. So I'm going to bring up the Zaquan as wait, let me see if I can do just one. All right. And let me see. Oh, it's not working. Okay. Well, I'll just do it like this. Okay. So Genesis chapter 29, verse Akkad. And it's about to really start getting interesting because we're going into us meeting the people of the East, all right, which is a phrase that we can also find in the book of Baruch chapter 4, all right, when the families of the East, they saw us go into slavery. Excuse me, this includes the Nabateans, the Bedouins, this includes the Arabs, the Africans, you know, the Libyanites, all these nations, they seen us go into captivity. So learn this part so you can learn your history. And if you are a woman in this truth, you really want to learn this week's Torah portion because you get to get a deeper view of your mothers. Genesis chapter 29, verse 1, and it reads, Then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that they watered the flocks. And a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered. And they rolled the stone of the well's mouth and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in its place. Now, something interesting I want to point out real quick was that we see that the shepherds removed the stone from the well's mouth, and they all gathered together to do this one act. That means that stone must have been pretty heavy. Verse 4. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, Achium, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban, the son of Nahor? And they said, Khan, Yadai La'ach, we know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. Kol Toab. And behold, Rachel, his daughter, cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it the time of cattle, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot until all the flocks be gathered together, and till they, you see that? Remember when I said all of the men had to be together in order to roll this stone away? Watch what happened. So, our father's like, yo, roll this stone away so that this woman can get water for her cattle, for her flock. And it was like, we can't. We got to wait till everybody gets here. Watch what happens. And they said, we cannot until all the flocks be gathered, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rebekah came with her father's sheep.
Rachel.
Thank you, King. Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them.
Interesting here. A lot of the sisters think they say that man is supposed to work and provide all the worlds. She wasn't married, granted, but she was learning how to do what? Work. She kept the flock. It said she kept them. Now, did Laban have any sons? Did Laban have any sons?
Haran.
Yeah, Haran. That was his father.
Haran had Laban, so Khan.
No, Laban. Did Laban have sons? That's the thing, because maybe you could say, well, she's the only child, right? So she had to do it. All right. But when I did my kissing cousins, I happened to miss that scripture. Right? And I'm trying to find where it mentions Laban's sons. If you remember where that's at, brother. Because I'm trying to make a point.
Yeah, that's in the book of Joshua.
It's in Genesis 2. Yo. Yeah. All right, here you go. Genesis 31:1. It says, and he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that was our fathers have he gotten all this glory. Now, it could be, maybe they wasn't born at this time. Maybe they was born after, right? But he had sons. Okay, but Rebecca, being a woman, kept the flocks, right? So she was a working woman. Any sisters got a problem with that in the chat? That you see your foremother Rachel, which was beautiful, we're going to find out, and well favored, kept the flock, right? Just like King David did. He kept the flocks. Very interesting thing, showing you that the women did labor. But go ahead.
All right, con. Bye-bye. All right, so we're in the book of Genesis, chapter 29, verse 10. And it came to pass when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled a stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother.
Uncle Laban. Let's just make sure we put all things together. Uncle Laban, Rachel will be his first cousin, and he alone was strong enough to remove the stone from the well's mouth. I don't know if that's how corrupt y'all trying to allude to.
Yeah, that's where I was. Yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
Okay. So it was saying above that these men had to wait for others to help move the stone, but Jacob was able to do it by himself. Jacob saw the zone. He saw Rachel. What it said? He saw Rachel, right? And the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother. He saw the sheep. And Jacob went there and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban's mother's brother. So he gave the sheep water. He was working.
You know what's interesting? He did the same thing that his mother did.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. And guess what? Rebecca was working. She was watering all the camels, carrying the water, getting them arms strong, right?
You know what? Something this Aqua from Natazar, she had brought out that camels can drink up to 30 gallons of water in one sitting, and that Eleazar had, from what we've seen, I'm just going to guesstimate about 10 camels with him. So that's a lot because he had brought an army with him. So that's a lot of back and forth, filling up the vessel, watering the camels, because camels can drink water and they'll drink, but then they'll store water. They'll drink and they'll store water. They'll drink and they'll store water. So, if anybody who talks like Jacob was lazy, nah, not at all. He was hardworking. He was a hustler. He was a gritter. When it came time for him to put in the work, he put in the work. But outside from that, we some homeboys.
Right? It says a camel may drink 20 to 30 gallons in 10 minutes. An Arabian camel can drink 15 gallons of water in 10 minutes. Camels can drink about between 30, 50. So this is what you said. Right? I
wonder how much did that go with how much they store too, because they drink, and then how much they store. But that's something for another time. But
they said they could go. They said they could go long periods of a time without water. Let me see. 15 days. Camels can survive up to 15 days without water. One of the reasons that they can survive that long is because of their humps. They store fat in their humps, not water, and can use this to help them go longer without water.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Most High make all type of stuff.
All type.
Dang. So maybe we see some people with, develop humps, like a hunchback of Notre Dame. You maybe can do a fast for a longer time. I'm just messing around. Yeah.
Genesis 29, verse 11. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept.
Boy, that was a kiss. Boy, whoever got a kiss like that and started crying. Boy, when I first read that, how good did she look? For the man to get a kiss and started wailing, crying. Man, I want to run into that one. But I digress. I'm sorry.
Verse 12. And Jacob told Rachel that he was his father's was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father, and it came to pass when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things.
Right. So, I might jump in because I did a lesson on this, but so he kissed her, he wept, and he told Rachel that he was her father's brother. Because we still call each other brothers, right? General, brothers, sisters. But technically, he was his nephew. It's like in the book of Tobit. Tobit called his wife's sister, but technically she was his wife as well, right? So he went and linked up with Jacob, embraced, they hugged and kissed them. Ooh,
kissing cousins,
kissing brethren, and nephew. He kissed Jacob, right? When you say something about kissing, man, kissing brothers go crazy. You see what I'm saying? But that word is in there, brother. That's what it is. Now, brothers gonna say, I ain't gonna know. It's a kiss on the lips, kiss on the cheeks, like the Godfather. Okay, cool. Still a kiss. All right. You see what I'm saying? And what's interesting is, it says, and he told Laban all these things. Now I'm acting like I'm in school, in class teaching. All right, reading ELA and settings and context clues and idioms and character plots, all that stuff. What did he tell him? And he told Laban all these things, but the 14th verse will give you a clue. And Laban said to him, surely thou art bone in my flesh. So why would he make that statement? What did he tell Laban for him to say that? What do you think? Anybody know? Anybody want to put it in the chat? Well, I did a class about Jacob because everybody used to go against the polyzone, and they try to use this chapter to demonize or say, well, Jacob didn't want more than one wife. He loved Rachel. And he was tricked, right? The trick concept. But what does Jacob mean? What does the word Jacob means? Means supplanter, right? How do we know? We go to Genesis 25. He supplanted who? Who did he supplant? Esau. At first, he planted Esau and told him, yo, you hungry? You want some of this food? All right, some of your birthright. Right? Cunning. Esau being a dummy, starving for that red pottage, didn't care about the birthright, gave up the birthright. Then, when his father Isaac was about to give up the ghost and was blind and couldn't see, prophecy had to be fulfilled. Obviously, his mother knew the prophecy. So she told him to go in there and to see if his father Isaac. And he was like, hold on, I'm going to get a curse instead of a blessing. Wait a minute, boy, you trying to set me up. Who art thou doing this? He said, no, the curse will fall upon me. But he actually had to do the physical deceiving, supplanting. Right? Moms helped him. But he was the vessel and the voice of the seed. So what was he telling them? Right? This is, you can have your own concept on the Shermans. He's coming, he's talking to his uncle, he's excited to see his family, he was on his journey, he's gonna tell what happened. Like uncle asks, what's going on with your father? What's going on with my sister? What's up with your brother? What's going on? Right? He telling him things. He telling him how he's supplanting. You know what I'm saying? How he supplanted to get the birthright. How Esau want to kill him.
Right.
His parents told him, like, you got to bounce.
Right.
You need to go to my brother's house and find a wife. Esau taking Canaanites and Ishmaelites or whatever. You're going to have to be removed from this situation. Right? So when I was going through the class, I was looking at how Abraham was supplanting in Egypt with Sarah, saying she's my sister, right? Then you had to come back and say, well, yeah, she's my sister, but she's the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. Isaac was doing the same thing. They was a family of cunningness, supplanters. Just like Jacob is today. We supplanters, right? Jacob will find a way to get over. They're going to find a way. They're going to find a way. New York City Metro Pass, when that joint cut out the paper Metro Pass, they used to make money and sell the transfers. We thought we was done when they had to get the thing. Them brothers start putting two cars together, swipe you in, still getting bread. Jacob going to find a way, right? So I'm looking at, well, LeBron, like, oh, this dude here, he surely family, boy. This family right here. That's how I internalize the scriptures. I look at it from a real family experience, right? So he said, surely thou art bone and my flesh. Basically off what we was telling them, right? And he abode with him the space of a month. So of course, I would say, your sister's my mother, all that stuff like that, whatever. But yeah, you read 14. Oh, 15, right? Is it 15?
Come on, verse 15. And Laban said unto Yaquab, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught?
Right, so that's a question. So there you go, see a law being interjected. Oral law, now it wasn't written, but it's written here. And we got the law that your brother can't work for you for free. You got to hire him as a hired servant. You have to be a payment. He's not a slave. Okay? Yeah. It says, tell me, what shall thy wages be? So you have to pay him. Yeah, bro. You going?
And Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well favored.
What does that mean? Right? Tender eye versus beautiful and well favored. Tender eye, she was shamefaced, reserved, quiet, shy. Rachel was gorgeous to look at, right? And well liked, well favored, well developed, right? It's just reality of, situation. You have siblings, and one is popular, one is not, one is considered beautiful than the other or more handsome. So, and she was younger, doesn't mean anything at the end of the day too, but that was, some people try to say she was ugly, you know what I'm saying? But like Jeremiah said, when we talk about my mother, I'm Judah. My mother wasn't ugly. Right? She tender-eyed. You can look it up. But go ahead.
Come on. Let's see. What verse we in? I started looking up another word.
We was at the tender-eyed scripture, verse 17. Mm-hmm.
Now, I went to the tender-eyed verse. I'm going to share it real quick on the screen share. All right. You know what? No, I'm not.
Yeah, bring it up.
Well, let me stick to the script so that way the reading will be shorter because we got a lot to go through. So I'm gonna put the screen back on thou and do the screen share.
I was waiting to see what you got. I mean, we still got to edify the world.
Okay,
especially Genesis. Genesis is just not like thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. Thou, you know what I'm saying? It's just. I mean, we could read it just to read it through, but.
Well, I went to the word tender, and the word tender is rak. So it says tender-eyed. That's the ra'ash and the kap. So it's rak. So the word rak stands for tender 9 times, soft 3 times, faint-hearted, 1, weak, tender-hearted. It means tender, soft, delicate, weak. Tender, delicate of the flesh, weak of heart, timid, soft of words, gentle of words. Gentle of words. So then we have rak right here, which is rak from H4710. It means tender. It says literally or figuratively, by implication, weak, faint-hearted, soft, tender, tender-hearted, 1, weak. Rak. Raya. This is the 2 characters. Raya. It means it gives the same definition. It means tender of flesh. All right. But let's scroll down. We'll see what Jacinius says. Jacinius, he says, rak, which Jacinius was before the Strongs. Shalom, Atam Halak. All right, Shabbat Shalom. All right, salute the elders for me. The word rak from Jacinius, which we know Jacinius came before Josephus, says tender spoken of little children, tender cattle, tender of flesh. It means weak, dull eyes. Well, now here's something that's very interesting right here, because I have another. Man, excuse me. Slock, I apologize. I have seen another scripture where they implement that, and it's going to sound a little strange, but I mean, it's written. Nor am I teaching it, but it was considered that Leah had a lazy eye. I know that sounds strange. I'm not teaching it, but it's worth looking into. So verse 2, it says infirm, or as an infirmity. All right. It means weak, dull eyes, which was considered a defect. Okay. And that's it for Jacinius. So that's all I have there.
Okay. Con. All right. And so that can explain where you have a contrast of beautiful, okay, and then it attacks well favored. So she was, popular or liked, You know, she was out there working amongst the men, doing, you know. You ever see a woman she's strong, she's outgoing, she's nice looking, she's talkative, right? You know, I mean, it is what it is, real life stuff. Okay. So one was introverted and another one was extra. Am I saying it right? Introverted.
Yeah, extroverted, yeah.
Extroverted. Right. All right. All right. Introverted versus extroverted. Okay. Okay, so that's how I can add to it as well. Okay. It says extroversion and introversion refers to where people receive energy from. Introverts are energized by socializing in large groups of people, having many friends instead of a few intimate ones, while introverts are energized by spending time alone or with a smaller group of friends. So she'll be more, Rachel is more outgoing type person. Okay. So, where we at now?
We're at verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Genesis, chapter 29, verse 18. And Rebecca, well, let me make sure we're screen sharing. I apologize so the people can see. I apologize. Let me start over. Verse 18.
18.
And Jacob loved Rachel.
And Jacob what?
Jacob loved Rachel.
So Jacob loved Rachel. We know that because he cried when he kissed her. Love at first sight. Love at first kiss. Smitten. Go ahead.
And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter.
So he loved her that much. He desired her that much. When the proposition was given to him, he said, man, several years I'll work for her. He probably was just saying it just to say it. You know what I'm saying? She's so bad. He could have been like, you like, man, shoot, man, I'll do anything for her.
I'll drink your
bath. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is, man. You brothers know when you see something crazy and you really in the world, you just say anything out your mouth, man. You know what I'm saying? He could have been like, man, I'll do 7 years. Man. Oh, yeah? 7 years? Thou sayest. Okay, but go ahead.
Verse 19. And Laban said,
no, read 18 again, because there's a big thing in there. It's saying big things anyway.
Genesis chapter 29, verse 18. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter.
Thy younger daughter. You already know Rachel's name, right? Why you gotta say the younger part though? Rachel, Leah. He already told you their names. He already told you he had 2 daughters. He already said the name of the elder and Leah, the name of the young was Rachel. But he emphasizing Rachel, the younger worlds. Let's see. Let's see if that play out later on. Go ahead.
All praise. Verse 19. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee
Whoa.
than I should give her to another man. Abide with me.
Hey, that sounds like the book of Tobit. That sounds just the same verbiage in the book of Tobit. What's that? The 7th chapter.
Yes, sir.
If you could pull that up, Tobit, 7th chapter. And it's in the same context because Tobit was a cousin to, I believe, Sarah. Right? And he said it's better that I should give her to thee. Why? Because they married within the kin. That's what it is. They married within the kin. The same verbiage that was here was said in the Apocrypha. Let me pull it up right quick. Well, let me read it right quick. right? Tobit. Book of Tobit, I believe it's chapter 7. Okay, and right, verse 9. So he communicated the matter with Ragu, and Ragu said to the boys, eat and drink and make merry, for it is meet, right, that thou shouldest marry my daughter. Nevertheless, I will declare unto thee the truth, right? And you talk about, the other men that were trying to marry her, and the Most High had the demon in there to kill him, right? So it's right for her to marry him according to the law. This is why one of the 7 chief angels, Raphael, came down to make sure that this marriage happened according to the law of Moses, right? It says it right here in 6 and 10. And the angel said to the young man, brother, today we shall lay with Ragu, who is thy cousin, or lodge, shall lodge with Ragu, who is thy cousin. He also have one only daughter named Sarah. I'll speak for her, that she may be given thee for a wife. For to thee doeth the right of her appertain, seeing thou only art of her kindred. Okay? And see, mind you, Esau went and married some heathen women. So he was next in line, technically anyway, because if we're looking at the fact that marriages was arranged or structured according to the siblings' children, right? Next in line to say being corrupt desire, we are blood brothers regardless, but we have,
that's right.
I have a daughter. We have both 2 children, right? His first child is a boy. My first child is a girl. My second child, he got 2 girls. I have 2 boys. Make it simple. The 2 oldest, then there's no other kindred to say this is us. Our 2 oldest got to marry each other. And then the 2 youngest marry each other.
Bring it out.
Okay? You see what I'm saying? Esau went and married who? A Hamite, I believe it was a Hamite and an Ishmaelite. Right? So now these 2 women, one woman might be left without a husband. Because Abraham, according to what was mentioned in the scripture, Josh should say something else, but he said she's my sister. Genesis says she is my sister, the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. To me, it's crystal clear. The Most High shut that down later on, just like he shut down Moses' father marrying his auntie, Tt. Got the Tt worlds. That was shut down. But anywho, and Isaac married Rebecca, which was a second cousin. Kindred worlds. And so now we have Jacob talking to his uncle about marrying his first cousin, Rachel, thy younger daughter. Don't put the Bible down. Don't run. We ain't even talk about poly all day, but what about this? It's in the scripture. All right. So let's keep it going, shall we? And where we at? Yeah. So he was like, man, I'll do 7 years for Rachel, right? All right, so it says, yeah, and Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and days seemed unto him but a few days. Imagine that. Few days, 1, 2, 3. 7 years seemed like a few days to the man, right? Okay. You still at the computer because I see the verse is about to go on down, right?
Yeah, says, I'm here. I'm here.
All right. And where you at? Now I lost my spot now.
Abide with me, verse 20.
Okay, 7 years, 20.
All right, and Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, days for the love he had for her.
For the love he had to her. Now the question is, did he know Rachel prior? When he first saw her, he wept, right? And he proclaimed his love for her by wanting to marry her and would wait 7 years as a dowry for her. So there is love at first sight. It's in the scripts. Now these 7 years, he's getting to know her, obviously, because he dwelt amongst them. Okay? But she was already promised to him to be a wife regardless. So she's already a wife. She's betrothed. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And Jacob said to Laban, give me my wife.
Give me my worlds.
For my days are fulfilled that I might go in unto her.
What the man said?
Give me my wife. For my days are fulfilled that I may go in unto her.
Go in unto her. Jacob was ready, boy. Okay. So what happened though for the going in part? Right.
23.
And he made a vow. Well, he made a vow. He made a pledge between the father to have her 7 years later. So there was a vow and commitments made from the jump. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 22. Verse 21. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled that I might go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast.
So they had a what after that?
And they made a feast.
So they had a feast. Same thing in Genesis 24. Same thing in Tobit.
Excellent. What about Yahushua went to a wedding?
Right. Why did he went to the wedding? Right? Because all steps was finally fulfilled.
So sex alone is not marriage.
Sex alone cannot be married because you have something called a betrothed woman. That if she be found laying with another man, they both will be put to death. She didn't even lay with the man yet, and she was already considered married, right? So there's vows, there's commitments, there's feasts, there's wedding party, ceremonies, whatever the case you want to call it, right? Just not, we had some wine, we feeling good, I gave you the Henny, boom, we under the sheets, married.
Thou art mine.
Nah. A lot of people fell victim to that, including me as thou.
Including me as thou.
So I ain't with it no more. That's a Reynolds. You see what I'm saying? Because now you done committed to this person because y'all got some Mama Thon and Kuzvizos. And now this person's the damn devil that the Bible speaks of. Right? You see what I'm saying? This man is crazy. She's spiritually high. Right? You see what I'm saying? Y'all got nothing in common. And not saying that, yeah, we do have the things in common. The scriptures tell you. You see what I'm saying? Don't be with somebody, be with an unbeliever. So you should have belief system. Has that wife of their own mind? All these different things. So yeah. So he didn't even get the Qurbah yet. He said, give me my wife. Before he got the Qurbah. Before he lay down with his wife, he said, give me my wife. So right there, like Zai said, sex alone cannot be marriage. Go ahead.
Verse 23. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her.
Now listen up. I'm just going to give you what the Most High gave me. Okay? So here's this situation. Now he asked Jacob for his wife. Right? So they having a feast. The barn gathered together, all of them in a place, and made a feast. All right? So to be honest, we know what's at feast, right? You have food, obviously, and you have some drink, right? A.O.I went to the wedding feast. He asked for wine. Where was the wine? They said they had no wine. And he said, woman, what I have to do with you? My time has not come. So he made wine. Why would A.O.I make wine if you can't drink wine? If that's a sin according to the churches, why A.O.I is a sinner. He polluted everybody else to drink wine. So that's off. So, for argument points, purposes, all right, they had a party. They had some meat, vegetables, and the fruit of the vine. Can that be cool, good to assume, brother? Or can we blue letter the feast or look up the definition of feast?
Absolutely. All right. Feast by definition.
Yeah, I mean, because I like to get the regular, well, it's an English word. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it still means what it means.
Absolutely. We'll pull up both of them. We'll pull up the root word and we'll pull up the etymology. Starting with the etymology, it's mashata, which means drink, drinkers, drunkards, banquet, drink to drink, a cup of drink of God's wrath, of slaughter, of wicked deeds, to feast. All right, that's the root word. And the word that's used there in the verse is mashata. Mashata. It means feast, drink, banquet, feast, banquet, drink. All right. Few Strong's definitions. You know, we see to drink by implication, to drink, the act of drinking by implication, to banquet or generally to feast, banquet, drank, drink, feast. Feasted, feasting.
Okay. So we got some drink going on. Drinking.
Definitely got some drinking going on.
Got some drinking going on.
Got some drinking going on. Automatically, yeah.
Automatically, okay. All right. So drinking, having a good time, whatever. So it says again, and the barn got together all the men of the place and made a feast. Okay. So it didn't give us a specific time that this started. But it goes in and say in 23.
23. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her.
So now it says it came to pass in the evening. Everything's pop up in the evening. That he took Leah's daughter and brought her to him, and he, Jacob, went in onto her, because that's what he was saying. I want my wife, so I go in on her. So he wanted to get the Qurbah. Now this is how I think. I'm sorry. People talk about he tricked her. He brought Leah to her. So you telling me for 7 years, you can say the drink and all that. Because I drank. I'm a drinker. So he bought Leah. She could have had a veil on or stuff like that, right? Brought this woman into the chambers, right? And he just runs up into her without taking off the veils. Was they in a pitch dark tent or room? No candlelight, no chivalry, no conversation, no looking into the face, no looking at the prize physically that thou waitest 7 years. You're not going to admire the beauty of the woman from head to toe. You just going to, I'm not going to say not explicit, but you just going to just ram the mama thon into a virgin without her giving up any, wait a minute. You don't know her voice. She was living among them for 7 years. You don't know the difference of her speech or size or height or anything. You don't know that? Can you give me some camera? Because I want people to see my face when I say this. Like, you don't think about none of that, right? I done been with virgins. It was no just straight to the worlds and boom. It was some resistance. This is our first time. It's not going to be an easy road, right? But he was tricked. Now, Laban, we're going to find out, is on some supplanting stuff himself. He's supplanting right now. Jacob is a supplanter. That's his vibration. But let's see what happens on the next verse. Okay, so he just brings Leah to Jacob. Jacob, we add to the text. We know we're feasting. So we assume, you only way you can do that, you assume he was pissy drunk. Pissy drunk. And he went in there and lay with this woman after working 7 years for her. Okay? That's the only thing you could possibly, the only way that can make a little bit of sense to me, because I done drunk and got drunk. I knew what I was doing. I knew who was that person at the time. Now, you may wake up in the morning and memory lapse, but at the time, you know who you're talking to. But go ahead. Go ahead. Finish reading.
All praise. Genesis chapter 29 and verse 24. And Laban gave unto his daughter, Genesis chapter 29 and verse 23. And it came to pass at the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. Verse 24. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah for a handmaid. And it came to pass in the morning.
So he gave her, this could be, is this at that time he give during a ceremony? Because it's a feast type of thing. Did give it, did she give Zilpah her maid right then and there or after? Okay. Well, he went in onto her, so it could be after. It could be prior, but go ahead.
And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning.
Right. So right there, in the morning is different from the evening when he took her to him and then gave her Zilpah his maid. So it says, and it came to pass that in the morning. So they was in there all night long, all night long. Lionel Richie. Now, who knows? You know, this is the first time Jacob got the worlds. And you've been waiting to anticipate. But you want to really enjoy your evening? Or he was just that finished that he was a one rounder and stopped or whatever. That's what I'm thinking. I got to put myself in this reality. I have to. They have to make natural sense, not no immaculate type thing. Okay, but go ahead.
Verse 24. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah, his handmaid, for a handmaid. Verse 25. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, what is this that thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve thee for Rachel? Therefore, when hast thou beguiled me?
Wherefore, then hast thou beguiled me. So now he wakes up in the morning. Behold, it was Leah. So you can say, okay, well, now you realize, you can say, behold, it was Leah. Can you look up that word, behold, in that context? If that's there.
Khan, absolutely. And it came to pass, the morning, behold. All right, let's go to the word tools. After we go to tools, we're going to scroll down, and the word behold. All right. Hanah. It means behold, lo, see, or if. All right. Behold, see, lo, here I, and lo. Etymology of it from the Hebrew Chaldean, hanah. It means having a demonstrative power. To demonstrative power, participle, lo, behold. All right. As to its etymology, or rather analogy, see, han, used for pointing out persons, things, and places, as well as actions. Han.
Right. So it's basically to see, look, behold, I give you every green herb for me. Look, this is what I'm giving for me. The herbs. Right? Behold, thy wife. Here's your wife. Which you already did. He said, behold, here's your wife. Right? Okay. So he was able to see her coming, take her into the tent, right? But they ain't have a conversation. What, you just ran up in her all crazy like a beast? You gonna say you was a drunk? That's the only way you can make it make sense in that regards to Maharakal. But because I feel, and I know the scripture says he's a supplanter, and how things being said, you and then the evening hours, the morning, and behold, you see his Leah, and he said to Laban, what is this that thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? And 26, he says, what? You've been 26. Here 7 years. Yeah, you've been here 7 years now in this land. Go ahead.
Verse 26. And Laban said, it must not be so done in our country that we give the younger before the firstborn.
To give the younger before the firstborn. Now he is of the same house and family and lineage. Okay? And so he did live among them for 7 years. I'm sure people was getting married. Okay? And that's why when I read the script, I saw that he emphasized, I'm saying the word right. He emphasized. Emphasize. Thank you. Help me out, bro. Say it for me. That he wanted Rachel, thy younger daughter. Thy younger daughter. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So now you sitting here acting crazy, like you don't know who you slept with. Now we have some if we have somebody that can testify and say they don't remember the person they slept with, by all means, inbox me, let me know the story. I'd like to hear that one. Because to me, that's ridiculous. For you working for a woman that the days seem like a few days, okay? And you in love with this woman, and you go in there, you must ain't took the veil off, you ain't took the clothes off, you ain't laying in the bed with her. Like, what are you talking about? But go ahead. Go ahead.
Verse 28. Verse 27. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee also this for the service which thou shalt serve with me 7 other years.
Right. And so now he said, fulfill Leah's week. So here we got another clues of how long the so-called, I guess, honeymoon. The honeymoon is a week, right? Or the marriage feast, a week. And we would give thee this also, which is Rachel, for the service which thou should serve with me. Yet, well, fulfill her week, which is Leah. Fulfill Leah's week, and we will give Leah also for the service thou shalt serve, Rachel, with me yet 7 other years. So now you have to do 14. And Jacob did so and fulfilled Leah's week, and he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also. Some people miss that and think he worked another 7 years before he got with Rachel. No, he fulfilled Leah's week, then he lay with Rachel. Okay? So when I read this, I can't see how this man worked for 7 years, love at first sight, all these different things. And then Laban, he's a supplanter too, because he said, sure, you are bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. You telling me all the stuff you doing, you ain't gonna get over on me. I gotta watch out for you. You know what I'm saying? Like any person would do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he ever seen his nephew before or not, but yo Ken come over there telling you stories. You like, oh, I gotta watch out for him. You see what I'm saying? So that's just that's what I see in the scripture concerning that. I don't feel Jacob was supplanted at all, because Jacob is the supplanter, and he continued to supplant until the Most High changed his vibration and gave him Israel. Okay. Even to the point where he was going to continue to take more women. For those that said he only wanted Rachel. He only wanted Rachel, but he smashed Leah and had like 6 children by her. Or 7. He only wanted Rachel, but Rachel gave him her handmaid. He didn't refuse that. Well, we're going to read that anyway. But go ahead, brother.
Verse 29. And Laban gave to Rachel, his daughter Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid. And he went also unto Rachel.
Right.
And he loved Rachel also more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years.
So there go love also being said again after the consummation as Isaac and Rebekah. And he went in also onto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. Okay, so Jacob got a 2-for-1 specials.
Now he got a 4-for-1.
Yeah. You got a 4-for-1 specials in totality. Okay, so I'm like, oh, he trying to play me and bring Leah into the tent. All right, I'm gonna play stupid like you playing stupid. Come on, bring it up in here. In the morning, I'm gonna come to you like, yo, you tricked me, fam. Where's my wife? I vowed for. And then he said, you know dang well, buddy, We can't give the younger for the elders. You better fill a week, then I'll give you Rachel. But you gotta work another 7 years, buddy. Okay? Don't try to play me like you did Esau. Don't try to play me like you did Isaac. It ain't going down like that over here. That's just how I feel it, man. Look, you're saying this dude was drunk out of his mind, and he just ravished Leah, because what kind of mindset you in if you super drunk and you even take the time to admire your possession that you worked for 7 years? You ain't looking at the feet, the leg, nothing. You ain't talking to her. What are you doing? You fell asleep in there. You ain't do nothing. We say went in her. I'm sure about the same size. I can't. That's just off to me. It is just to justify or condemn men having more than a wife. Let's say he was tricked. So let's see if he was tricked. No, we don't see. I don't see that he was tricked from here thus far. But let's see some more that he only wanted Rachel. Because if a man monogamous, so-called, he's monogamous, baby. You can't make him
All right, you cut out for a second. You want me to read?
Yeah. All right,
okay. Verse 32. And Leah conceived and bare a son. Verse 31. And when Yahweh saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. 32. Mm-hmm. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Rawaban, for she said, surely Yahweh hath looked upon my affliction. Now, therefore, my husband will love me. Verse 33. Mm-hmm. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, because Yahweh hath heard that I was hated, he therefore given me a son also. And she called his name Shemaiwan. Verse 34. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined to me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Lawayah.
Boy, he enjoying the worlds, having back-to-back churns.
Back-to-back what?
Back-to-back churns. So they say in the dirty South. Churn. Okay, for somebody who don't like the world or just want to be monogamous, you should have a lot of babies laying with his wife Leah worlds. Go ahead.
Verse 34. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Lawayah. And she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, now will I praise Yahweh. Therefore she called his name Yehoiada, and left bearing. Repeat after me. The elder will repeat from the reader, and then all of the people will repeat from the elder. Kala Shaddai.
Kala Shaddai.
Debar Yahweh.
Debar Yahweh.
Na'isha.
Na'isha.
Wa Nashamai.
Ranashamai.
All that Yahweh has said.
All that Yahweh has said.
Will we do.
Will we do.
And hear.
And hear.
All praise the Most High. This is a wonderful Torah portion reading. We learned so much about marriage and polygyny. And also we learned about our forefathers. Now, what I would encourage everyone to do is, the subject matter still isn't done. What I want to encourage everybody to do is to read the names of the forefathers, find out what are their names, but not only find out what are their names, but find out what are the meanings of their names. All right. There is a book that was found in the Judean Discovery Scrolls, which means basically the Dead Sea Scrolls. It was found intact. All right. And it was written in Paleo Hebrew. And this book is called The Testament of the Patriarchs. So I don't know if anybody would like to learn, but when I learned about Judah, I was more solidified in who I was pertaining to my tribe. So with that being said, you know, our forefathers, just like our forefather Jacob, when he passed away, Genesis chapter 49, he left a testament to his children. And the same thing happened with all of our forefathers. When they passed away, they all left a testament saying, this is what will happen to you in the last days. Judah did and said the same thing, just like Levi, Simeon, Gad, Reuben, Manasseh, Ephraim, Naphtali, Benjamin. All of the forefathers left a testament, said what happened to them. So it's not that we go off of the 12 tribes chart based off of Ariah or based off of any one man. The 12 tribes chart is actually based off of Genesis chapter 49 and Deuteronomy chapter 33, based off of the prophecies, what the Most High said will happen to the 12 tribes. So with that being said, this is an excellent Torah portion reading. I have to meet with Yahushai and the other brothers over at the community. And I'm so sorry, man, that I wasn't able to get through this whole thing. But I can lead this up, Maharka, or everybody, if you all would like to finish with Zaquan Maharka, I'll encourage you to do so on his Facebook and on his YouTube. But unfortunately, I myself, I have to go and get with Yahushai and the rest of the community that's here in the city gates of Dayton, Ohio. So, Zaquan Maharka, man, before I step to the side, you got anything you want to bring out?
Nah, I'm just saying that all praise go to the Most High. It's 3:39. We got probably like an hour and a half here.
That's great, man. You brought out a lot of jewels. You brought a lot. If y'all seen some edification of what the elder was bringing out, put a 7 up in the room. If y'all thought that what he was saying was a waste of total time and you didn't learn anything, and you could have learned the same thing from watching Sesame Street, put a 3 up in the room. But if you disagree with that and you found that you heard some valuable information, put a 7 up in the room. I know that I always learn wherever I'm hearing the things that the Zaquanian bring out. You know, very young in the truth, and I think that all of us have room to grow. Something that I'm very grateful for is the experience that the Most High brought through Zaquan Maharaka. All that how it said we do in here. Look at the sister Nawa Yasha'ala. She said, Kala Shadad the body Hawa not Aisha wa not Shamai. Great job. Look at you putting that Paleo Hebrew up there. Nanya put a 7 up in the room. Now I'll put a 7 up in there. Ashwan Adab, she said, really 14 for the one wants it. All right, so we got them 7s. All right, we got them 7s up in there. All praise. Okay, all praise. All right, well, let me give a sincere salute to everyone who read, who built, who studied with us. Zaquan, are you going to continue with the Torah portion? When I go over Yahushai, they're already doing this. So I'm going to pick up from over there.
Yeah. I mean, let's pick up from over there now. You send the link. Let's pick up from over there. And I'll just join in. Well,
he's going to be doing his own thing, and I'm going to be joining in on what he's doing.
Okay. Is he going to go live so I can watch it?
Possibly, probably. But, you know, Yahushai's got his own Reubenite mentality. So what I would suggest, man, if the people can continue to follow you, is only like, 4 more chapters, 3 more chapters.
I can continue.
Yeah, so this week's
you gonna leave your computer up and running though?
I gotta take this, man. Genesis chapter 32. Just pick it back up and everybody join back on your stream. Excuse me. You know what? Or actually, I could leave it running. Would you do something for me? Would you give me a call when you finish?
Yeah, I could call you. I mean, who wanna stay in the class? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want me to continue.
If you don't want him to continue, put 6,483. All right, put a 1 if you want to continue. Put 6,483 if you don't want him to. If y'all want to see more of Maharka, all right, and hear the teaching that the Most High is giving them with this Torah portion, put a 1. If you don't want to hear more, put a 687,003. I forgot what number I said. All right. So look,
I'm planning on doing a class. What I was saying earlier, sex, it's not marriage, part 2.
You gotta put me in there. You gotta put me in.
So we can do it tomorrow if you want to do it.
Yeah, I don't mind. Definitely don't mind. Definitely don't mind. All right. So what I'm encouraged, man, is if you don't mind, man, pick it up from your Jones. I got to take the laptop. Well, we got some ones that are Florida, man. Nunya said, Nawad said, you know, one. You want to keep it going? Where else? All right. All right. Well, let me go ahead and salute out. I'm going to leave this laptop up, and Zaquan Mahar can continue with the ministry, and then you all can continue to learn. I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to leave my laptop because we love y'all so much as a nation. Okay. All right. Yo, Zaquan, you good?
All right, let's go, man.
All right. Shalom Lakam. Shalom, Mashpakar. Shalom, family.
All right. So, where are we? Okay. So we going to chapter what? We in chapter. Let me go over here. So those that was listening, do you believe that under the circumstances that this man had this desire for this woman for 7 long years and cried when he first kissed her, and the days felt like a few days, 7 years felt like a few days, and he comes to deal with the woman. He goes in there in the evening and realizes in the morning that this is not the woman he worked for 7 years. Him being a supplanter. This is what he been doing, being a supplanter. And his uncle recognizing that as well. I just don't see it. Okay. So we are in Genesis 29. Genesis 29. Genesis 29. Okay. So we're going to see how Rachel is going to act now, because Leah done had 4 sons. She is barren. So she's getting in her bag now. Now she's in the jealous world. Okay. But you was getting all the love and attention by Jacob. And so now the Most High came to the rescue for Leah, okay, and open her womb. See, this is why you have to have faith in the Most High. No matter how hard things is going, if you be sincere and you trust in the Most High, He'll deliver you. So this woman being in this relationship where their husband favor the other wife over her, but then the Most High intervened and opened her womb, and she had 4 sons back to back, where her other sister had none. Now what? You see what I'm saying? So you can be favored and beautiful and well favored, you see what I'm saying? But then you be disingenuous with your sister wife or your sister, and the Most High shuts you down and bless her.
Excellent. So that's why, point. Excellent.
You know what I'm saying? This is why you must trust in the process of the Most High. I'm witness to it. Plenty of times I thought I was nuclear smashed. See what I'm saying? And didn't knew a clue how it would turn out, but I just stood firm, didn't curse the Most High. You know, you get mad. You be like, the Most High, you. Wait, hold on. I really want to get judgments. I'll curse Satan out. Let the Most High fight for you. And so now let's see how Rachel going to act now. Is she going to be a virtuous daughter? Because we read no instance thus far that Leah got in her bag. She didn't say anything. She wasn't going off, nothing. She accepted the fact that Jacob favored Rachel. And men have favorites. I was going to do a class on that, because you a lot of your sisters or people in general, you act like this is something strange. that a man will favor one woman over another, or favor a child over another. Who is Jacob's favorite son? Who's his favorite son? Joseph. Joseph was his favorite son. Then Benjamin. The Most High honored Judah. Okay, there's plenty of scripture that shows you and speaks about favoritism. The Most High chose Israel over everything he created. The Most High chooses the lily over the rose. And you women think that if somebody give you roses, they gave you the world. But the Most High says the lily is his favorite plant, his flower. So won't you give the woman, right, dozens of lilies? Because the Most High preferred lilies over the rose. The Most High favored the lamb over any other beast. Right? A lamb is tender, right? That's why we call the Lord sheep of the house of Israel. We consider them lambs. So it's like people don't want to keep it real about stuff. You see what I'm saying? We all have favorites. You can sit there and lie to yourself all you want, but you have favorites. My aunt told me that she had a favorite child, but she wouldn't tell the children that. But she had a favorite. Out of her 8 children, my aunt had 8 children. And she says she has a favorite child. You always have favorites. Okay? So we got to be real with ourselves, man. Be real. At least try to be real. Great goodness. You see what I'm saying? Okay? All right. Good. You say you have a question? Huh? Genesis, you have a question about what?
So that was Genesis 29, right?
That was Genesis 29. We're about to read Genesis 30.
Can you repeat what that verse said one more time?
That first what?
Can you read what that verse said?
Read the verse?
Yeah.
About what?
Genesis 29.
Genesis 29 and what?
It says, go back to the Bible.
Well, I can read. Give me what you want me to read. So we have a question about Genesis 29. So let's see what the question's going to be.
29 and 20.
Genesis 29 and 20. All right, Genesis 29 and 20. Let's see. Genesis 29 verse 20. Yeah, I could take some questions too in between time. Genesis 29 and 2. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flock, and the great stone was upon the well's mouth. That?
Yeah.
What about it?
I was just reading, and that's the only verse that I didn't quite understand.
It was just talking about there was a well that they watered the flocks, a great stone. It was a huge stone that covered the well. And Rachel was we read this earlier, but you wasn't on the call. And they bought the flocks, and so they had to give the flocks water to drink. So this story, this chapter right here is going into Jacob, Rachel, and Leah, and how he married 2 first cousins, which became his wives. Okay. Right. 2 sisters became his wives, and he favored one over the other. And so chapter 30, and talk about the marriage process, how he married Leah before Rachel, and how he consummated with Leah before Rachel, and how he tried to play as if he was the seed, but his name means to supplant. And so you read the scriptures, like how you lay with a woman all night long and not know who you laying with, and she's a virgin. Any female that remember when she was a virgin, ain't no man just ran up in you on the first try. You tell him, hold up, wait, stop. Hold on a second. This, that, and the third, hold on. And he, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the man want to look at his woman. Like, you're going to talk to her, right? You're not going to say anything. You're not going to look at it. It's pitch dark in it. It's just like, it's just crazy for people to make up a statement because they against something. Because you are against a man having more than one woman when your forefather, the father of the whole 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, the father of the Messiah, was a polygynist. And the whole nation was built off polygyny. So if you don't like it, that's fine, but you might as well call yourself Israelite. That don't even make no sense. Why would I be attached to something I'm totally against? That's crazy. You see what I'm saying? So we reading now concerning how Rachel now is going to feel about her sister wife. She's her actual blood sister, but a sister wife. Because she was favored. She was beautiful and well favored. Rachel was tender-eyed, right? But according to the law of the land, right? You can add that there to Romans 13. The law of the land is that the younger cannot marry before the elder. Leah was the elder sister. Rachel was the younger. So he had to marry the elder before the younger. And it's good. It's cool too, because remember, Esau was really supposed to marry Leah. And Jacob would have married Rachel anyway, according to the order of marriage. But Esau went and married some other women. So Jacob had to marry both. Right? So now let's see. Let's see if the argument makes sense when you say Jacob didn't want he only wanted one woman. But he laying with Leah all night long. All night long. Don't make no sense. Right? So now he marries Leah, or he consummates with Leah, because marries Leah for a whole week, did the same thing with Rachel. Now, Rachel and them having fun, they in love, but he's due benevolence with Leah, and she has 4 of Jacob's son, which is Levi, which is the priest, became the priest, and the high priest, and Judah, which became the kings. So even through her trials and tribulation of not being the favorite wife, she ends up having the top tribes in the nation of Israel, which is Judah, which the Messiah came out of. King David came out of. Solomon came out of. Great Israelites came out of the tribe of Judah. And then Levi, Moses, Miriam, Aaron, the Maccabees. She has a great lineage of grandchildren. And who do Rachel have? We're going to find out. Joseph, which is Ephraim and Manasseh. Not minimizing them, but they're not Leah's children. Issachar read the stars, the constellation, the times. So, I mean, if you put your trust in the Most High and not in you see what I'm saying? And your emotion, your feelings, the Most High can bless you. So up to this point, Leah ain't said anything out of order. Let's see what Rachel does. Let's see how she get it in. Let's see how she get in her feelings. Genesis 30:1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister. Where did it say that Leah envied Rachel? Remember, she was tender-eyed, right? See what I'm saying? She was shamefaced. She was a quiet girl, introverted. Now, Rachel was envying her sister now because she ain't having no children, and said unto Jacob, her husband, give me children or else I die. So now she's blaming her husband for her not having children. Now, you know he laying down with Rachel because he favored her. You know he's sleeping with her. You know he's laying it down, whatever. He's doing, you know he's going to be probably doing it. He's going to be doing it more with her because he favored her. But he still do benevolence with Leah. But Leah's getting pregnant now. And Rachel is not. So she's in her bag. So now she's getting disrespectful with the mouth and say, give me children or else I die. She's proclaiming death over her life because she's in her feelings and she's not thinking. She's making spiritual contracts, spiritual vows with a death angel. Give me children or else I die. Okay? That's why the scripture says life and death is in the power of the tongue. We have to watch the things that you say out of your mouth. Period. Okay? Hold on. I can hear it, so I know y'all can hear it. Mute your line if you're going to be saying anything in the background, please. So at Jacob's anger. So obviously she was going on for him to get angry. So his anger was kindled against Rachel. Right? So she get this man heated because you tripping. You envy. And you know, I think I did the class on jealousy and envy. That's a wicked spirit to have, to be envied. Right? That goes into murder. That goes into all type of stuff. Okay? And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. And he said, am I in the Most High stead? Meaning, like, who have withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? Am I the one that's stopping your womb from being fertilized? I mean, I'm doing my job. You know I'm doing my job. You know when I first met you, woman, I kissed you and I cried. Man, I made a dang vow for 7 years for you. 7 years for you. Then I had to work another 7 years because I took Leah. What are you talking about? The time was like it was nothing for me. You know I love his vow. You know I'm laying with thou. What more do you want me to do? I can't make you be pregnant. At the end of the day, it sounds good. I'm going to get you pregnant. But the Most High is the one that controls it at the end of the day. That's just the truth. So we're going to just regular little conversation. They having a debate. They having an argument. It's contention. And the contention is starting with who? Rachel. Because she's jealous. She's envious. So she's bringing the drama. She's bringing the heat. Okay? That's what's going on. Okay? So if y'all can see that, y'all can hear that, all praise glory to the Most High. So we see who's in their body, who's in their bag. Right? So it says, and she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her. So now Rachel is giving him some kuppah, a woman. Here's Bilhah, right? I can't get you pregnant. I can't have no babies by you. Go lay with Bilhah. Go in unto her, and she should bear upon my knees. So she's a servant, that I may also have children by her, because this woman is a slave, so the children belongs to the master. Okay? So Israelites had servants. It's in the 10th commandment. Now, if you're going to say that the commandments is done away with, well, the 10th commandment talk about having handmaids and manservants. Okay? Right? So now, well, how did Jacob respond? Because you people say he was the monogamous brute. He only wanted Rachel, but he had 2 women, Leah and Rachel, which is first cousins, which is his mother's brother's daughters, which is his uncle. See how deep the rabbit hole goes? You see how deep this marriage system can go? Huh? A lot of y'all be like, I ain't gonna marry my cousin. Well, the scriptures did. So don't call yourself an Israelite. Rachel and Leah and the 12 tribes of Israel came from 2 cousins. Bloodline first cousins. Don't call yourself an Israelite. That's just that. Why hold on to something that you just that's the tasteful. I can't phantom that. But if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't be here, Hebrew. How about that? Disrespect your own people, your forefathers, your foremothers. But you better than them, I guess, in your mind. Right? So, verse 3, verse 4. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. And Jacob went in unto her. He didn't say, listen, woman, wait a minute. You know I'm a monogamous man. I only one is thou. But then your father tricked me and brought your sister Leah to me. I was drinking. I didn't know it was you or her, even though I worked 7 years for you, and it only felt like a few days, and I kissed and wept when I kissed you. I ain't know that wasn't you, baby. I don't want no Bilhah. What her name is? I don't want no more Quabat. I'm monogamous. Let's see what he did. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. Woo, boy. Why would he do that if he ain't wanted your artery? He didn't even want Leah. He wanted only Rachel. So why he get Bilhah then? Why he got the Bilhah worlds? See, you see, your statements y'all make just don't make no sense. It's called reading and comprehension. It's more detailed than that as well, though, when you read it. It's more skills, right? But and Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. Right? And the Most High allowed that to happen with the quickness. Rachel's still over there with no children. Leah had 4, boom. Now the handmaid gonna get a baby by him. Why? What's wrong with Rachel? Favorite deceitful beauty is man, but she that feared the Lord, she shall be praised. What's wrong with Rachel? Why is she not having this baby? Could it be a judgment between Jacob and her? I mean, but how's this a judgment? Because Jacob is getting blessed through his children. Scripture says the children is a joy to a man. So he's getting blessed through Leah. And now the handmaid. That's 3 worlds. 1, 2, 3. 3 worlds. I'm just reading what the Bible says. Right? Verse 6. And Rachel said, the Most High have judged me. Right? Because how did he lay with her that quick and bam? Right? And have also heard my voice and have given me a son. Therefore, call she his name Dan. Right? We in Genesis 30. So still, he blessed her through Bilhah because Bilhah is her possession and whatever she had belonged to her. So the baby belongs to Rachel. Y'all don't like that? Put that in the Bible. Slavery exists in the Bible. Servitude exists in the script. That's just what it is. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister. And I have prevailed. Now she's being proud. And I have prevailed. How do you prevail? Leah got 4 boys. This is 2 That didn't even come through your womb. They attribute it to you, but boy, you being a little kind of cocky there, huh? Aren't you? And she called his name Naphtali. Now, verse 9. When Leah saw that she had left barren, she said, hold on now. I ain't having no more children. She trying to catch up. She got a little handmaids and all that, having little children for my husband Jacob. Okay. She took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. Now, why did not Jacob refuse here? This is how you must think when people make statements. If Jacob only want one woman, why is he now with four? Why he's not making a case about this last woman? All right. In order for him not to take more wives, he had to enter in a covenant with Laban not to take more wives. Do you know that? Do you know that he had to make a vow on a covenant with with Laban not to take no more wives? Because that man was going to take wives. Period. Okay. So it says, when Leah saw that she had left barren, she took Zilpah, her maid, verse 9, Genesis 39, and gave her Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son, Salah. And Leah said, a troop cometh. And she called his name Gad. And so Gad is Leah's son as well. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. So now Leah has 6 children in total, 4 from her womb. Okay. And Reuben went in the days of the wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy sons mandrakes. Right? So mandrake's supposed to be like an aphrodisiac, something that helps the man potencies and things of that nature. Right? And she said unto her, is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? Now, this is the first time you hear Leah claiming her husband, right? Because she's actually the first wife, but first, second, third, whatever. That's one of the things, I'm first and I'm second. You the first wife, but you're the devil. What does that mean? Okay. So, it's a small matter that thou hast taken my husband. What she mean by that? Because Jacob favored her, right? So he would naturally move towards her. You see what I'm saying? Because he favors her, right? And that's just what it is. So that's why she said, you have taken my husband because you have his heart. You have his heart. Dang, what do you get mad about? I'm having his children, but you got his heart. I'm having all his children, but you have his heart. I have his children. He's going to love me through my children. But he loved you because he just loved you. Okay? It's not like you don't love Leah. He just loved or favored Rachel more. Okay? And that's just that. I mean, you get in your bag, be a Leah if you're in this type of relationship, be a Leah. Because Leah was blessed. Okay? And she ain't addressed her husband Jacob, and started fussing with him about nothing. She's talking to Rachel. Right? And Rachel initiated the conversation. And what does thou take away my son's mandrakes also? Now I'm going to take my husband, now I'm going to take my son's mandrakes. And Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrake. So obviously they had an arrangement. Sleep with me, sleep with her, whatever the case is. Or since you're saying that he favors to be with me, okay, he favors to be with me. He probably, you can't make a man be on a schedule. He chooses his own schedule. If he want to be with you for these numbers of days or whatever, lay in the bed, whatever. Remember, Jacob has his own tent anyway. So the question is here, the statement is, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. Lie, sleep, right? Sex, right? Because remember, Jacob had his own tent too. See, that's another thing. Who says that we have to be in the same bedroom, sleep in the same bed every night? And that's another thing where women get possessive. Because he's sleeping in my bed. He's supposed to be in my bed, my bed, my bed. So when he's not in the bed, you start bugging out. Okay? The man can have his own room, his own bed, his own tent. Okay? Then you got to worry about cleaning up after him in your bedroom. If you don't agree, that's fine. Where we at? Verse 16. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, thou must come in unto me. So she went out to be her husband, and Jacob came out the field in the evening. So he was working. He was a working man. He came from work in the evening. And Leah went out to meet him and said, thou must come in unto me. For surely I have hired thee. You are for hired now. For thy son's mandrakes, and he lay with her that night. Okay? Right? So there was a deal going on between the wives. And the Most High hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob the 5th son. So she had 5 sons from her womb, 2 from her handmaid. So she'd have 7 children now. Right? And Leah said, the Most High have given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. Right? She gave him a maiden. She gave him a woman. How many of you sisters will bring a wife or a maiden to thy husband in the chat? If you will bring him a wife, put a 7 in the room. If you won't bring him nothing, put a 0 in the room. Be real. That's Leah behind. My name is Bonquicious. My name is Sister Malacca. A moth. Okay. So and verse 19. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the 6th son. So now, excuse me, she has a total of 8 children attributed to her. 6 from her womb, 2 from her handmaid. Okay? And Leah said, the Most High endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, right? Or dwell with me means stay with her. He probably was always in the tent with Rachel, or always with Rachel, or chilling with Rachel. Then he come and do his juvenile events and this, that, and the third with Leah. Now she's saying, now I'm sure you're going to dwell with me. Right? See? Where's Leah being a demon? Okay? The Most High is blessing her with the children. She's not alone. She has 8 children. So when Jacob is out in the field working and handling his business, who's alone and who's not alone? Leah is not alone. She's busy with the children. She's busy with the children. That's all she hearing is What is Rachel hearing? she finally was able to hear 2 children call her name through her servant. Right? But she was busy with 4 before Rachel had anything. So we know minimally you have a child every 9 months. Right? Every 9 to 10 months, right? 9 months, say 9 months. If it's a girl, you got to wait 80 days, which is what? 2 months and a half, 9, 10, 11. So a child every year, to say minimum, it was every year. It could have been stretched out. So just imagine for 4 years minimum, right? Or maybe between 4 to 7 years, Leah is hearing babies cry before Rachel heard any children cry. So she wasn't alone. But Rachel was. She was alone when Jacob was out here doing business. Think about it. Right? And verse 20, and Leah said, Genesis 29 and 30 and 20, and Leah said, the Most High endured me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulon. Okay? All right? Azariah. Yeah, all praise. I'm trying to see if people still listening to me, unless they walked away from the computer screen. But glad that you said something. I'm trying to see who's out there still, focused. Don't leave me on red or nothing. Don't be doing that. It's the word of the Most High. I'm trying to be his vessel. But that's a great point, right? I mean, Leah wasn't alone because she had these children. Rachel was alone. Even though she had the husband's heart, she was alone. She didn't have no children. And that's what really got her tight, because now she see her sister having these babies, having these children saying, Ama, Ama, and they looking all cute and running around and playing and whatever they doing. She's busy with the babies and you sitting over there with nothing. You this TT. So she getting in her body now. And Jacob going to have to go spend some time with his children. Now what? You see what I'm saying? So now she feeling some type of way. All praise. Now she feeling some type of way. Okay? So Genesis 30 and 21. And afterwards she bare a daughter and called her name Dinah. And the Most I remember. So now look at this. Now she has a girl. She had a little Leah. Dinah. So she has 8 children, 6 boys out of her own womb, 2 of possession. That's 8. Now she has a daughter, which is 9 children. 9 children. So this is minimum over a course of minimally, lawfully 9 years. Okay? You see what I'm saying? All right? So, beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. And Rachel has 2. Okay? So now, and the scripture says in verse 22, and the Most High remembered Rachel, and he didn't forget about her. She had to be going through a lot of emotional stress. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, our mother Leah was blessed and favored. All praise. That's right. So now, Rachel probably was boo-hoo crying, and as she should, and Most High have mercy on his children, and born Joseph. That Jacob, and it came to pass, and she conceived and bare a son. Matter of fact, 22. And the Most High remembered Rachel, and the Most High hearkened to her and opened her womb. And she conceived and bare a son. So if you're not having children, it's because the Most High has closed your womb. If you didn't have no children, it's because the Most High did not let you have children. Forever, whatever evil you did or whatever negative vibration you was, maybe you didn't do no evil. He didn't say open your womb, because I can't say it, leave it like that, because Elizabeth kept the commandments. John the Baptist's mother, so she wasn't evil. All right? Rebecca, it didn't say Rebecca wasn't evil. He didn't shut your womb down. Okay? And now you have to, and all these occurrences, you know, prayer was happening. And then the Most High opened the womb. Okay? So, and the Most High remembered Rachel, and the Most High hearkened to her, right? Hearkened to her, so she was praying. If he hearkened to her, she must was praying. And opened her womb. And she conceived and bare a son and said, the Most High have taken away my what? Reproach. That's a beautiful part there, reproach. See that? Take away my reproach. Why? The blame game. She's blaming her husband, Jacob, for her not having children, when it's actually the Most High, Hamashiach, closing her womb. So she's blaming Jacob. Jacob doing what he's supposed to do. You know he's getting the kupah. You're beautiful and well-favored. But you still want to blame him because you ain't having no children. Right? You see? Stop blaming and take responsibility like Eve didn't do in the garden when she blamed Satan. Satan deceived me. You know you lying because you knew not to eat of the fruit of good and evil. And you knew the judgment of eating of it. You will seduce your own lust. That's why Isaiah 4:1 said you should take away their reproach. Because y'all blame. The blame game. Okay? As she was doing. Okay. Anyway, anywho. We are in verse 23, 24. And she called his name Joseph and said, Yahweh shall add to me another son. Right? 25. And it came to pass. So I guess this is shall is future tense. So, I mean, she's going to be blessed with another son. And she called his name Joseph and said, Yahweh shall add to me another son. Okay? So what does Joseph mean? Okay. Let's just get it right quick. It's around the Savior worlds. Okay, would make sense. Joseph. Yahweh, of course. Yahweh. Yosef. Yahweh had what is being added, just as it said, has added. Okay. Let him add. Future of let him add. Joseph, the name of 7 Israelites. Okay, let him add. Okay. All praise. All right. So where we at? And it came to pass when Rachel had born Joseph that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away that I may go unto my own place and to my country. So Jacob didn't even have his own place. He was living with pops, father-in-laws, uncle. He said, I'll go to my own place. A lot of y'all be saying like, he ain't got his own place. Well, Jacob ain't had his own place at this time. But he already had, 4 wives. And what? 8 children with Leah and 3 with Rachel. 11 children. Still with it at his daddy house. Because usually, for real, when you get down to it, the man was still at the house with his father because he was the one that took care of the family. The daughter was sent away with the husband. Right? That's why he said, let me go with my own place, because he came to Laban's house. Right? His father's name is Isaac. Okay? So he's like, listen, I need to go to my own place. Okay? Right? So let's understand that. Hold on, let me get this thing together here for a second, Boca Short. Battery's going up. Oh, wrong cord. Everybody following me so far? Am I saying anything weird? Saying that my cat going off. This don't even sound real. It sounds like a bunch of balonies. And not beef. Okay? So give me my wives and my children. So that's what I said. Let me go to my own place and to my own country. He's not from there. He want to go back to his own home. Right? Give me my wives and my children for whom I have served thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service, which I have done thee. So he's like, man, 14 years, man. I've been here a minute, man. It's time for you to dip. Right? And Laban said to him, I pray thee, nephew, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry. For I have learned by experience that Yahweh hath blessed me for thy sake. Boy, he laying it on thick. He laying it on thick, boy. Right? He like, man, this boy here got me balling. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, I got all these grandchildren and all that I got. You know what I'm saying? Cattle's probably stepping up. Right? Because he working for me. He doing his thing. Right? And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. So now this man, he still want to give him more wages. Like, what else I can pay you? You got my 2 daughters. What else can I give you if I don't want you to go? Stay with me as slave. Right? And he said to him, thou knowest now that I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. Right? For it was little which thou hadst before I came. So they had as much. Right? So you see the blessings that the Most High is blessing this poly man. How about that? This poly man with 4 consenting wives, not being damn Jezebel demons, having children. Right? You know, we got Rachel going off. There's only one mention was going off, being a little with the mouth game. Okay? You see what I'm saying? And his father's house, his father-in-law house is being blessed because of him. Because of this polygynous family makeup right now. How about that? And he said, verse 29, he said unto him, thou, Genesis 30:29, and he said unto him, thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me, for it was little which thou hadst before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude. How I have blessed thee since my coming. And now when shall I provide for my own house also, because I'm making you rich, man. I'm bigging you up. I'm working, doing all this stuff for thou. Because thou, you know what I'm saying? First, I put myself in the bag for saying I'm going to work 7 years for Rachel. Okay? And this for arguing for both sides. And then you tricking me. And now I'm going to work another 7 years. Or I try to trick you because you were trying to trick me. We both trying to trick each other. And now I got tricked on another 7 years working for the Kubak. Now you still want me to work some more for thou? That man playing a game. That man playing a serious game. Right? Okay? And he said, what shall I give thee, son? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything, Negro. I don't want nothing. Nothing at all, bro. You feel me? I want to go and provide for my fams. That's what I want to do. I don't know what you talk about, dog. Now you getting on my nerve. I'm just tell you that right now. Okay, I'm making sure my charge is working. Tripping. Okay. So this is what's going on here, okay? All right. If thou wilt do this thing for me, he begging, I will again feed. Hold up. And he said, what shall I give thee? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. Right? Now, if you let me go, my own possession, man, I'll still, you know what I'm saying? Like, you trying to get over, man, but dang, bro. This is crazy. You just trying to straight play me. Like, I can't live. What are you doing? I don't know. I think I'm on charge. Let me put it over here real quick. Laptop. Okay. Let's try it like that right quick. So, I will pass through all thy flock today. All right, so now he about to go to the Jacob. He about to Jacob him now. He about to Jacob him now. Okay? God, all praise. I'm about to Jacob this dude, man. This guy, he keep trying to play, man. He don't know I'm Jacob too. Like, I'm a supplanter, man. Like, you ain't gonna out supplant me. My name is supplant. What you think, man? I got the 4-for-1 specials already. You think you gonna out supplant me, Islam? All right, we're gonna see about this, Holmes. We're gonna see about this. Right? So he said, I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence, taking away, all the speckled and spotted cattle. So all the ones that have a spot on them or speckles, or, you know, they're not this one color. And all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So he's saying, let's read again. I will pass through all the flock today, remove from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle. So all the cows that spotted and speckled, you're going to remove. And all the brown cattle among the sheep. So the sheep that's brown, he's going to move. And all the spotted and speckled among the goats, he's going to move. Right? Because usually the sheep is white. So he's going to move, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats. And if such shall be my hire. All right? So that's the ones I'm going to take. All right? So let's see what's going on. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and brown among the sheep, that should be counted stolen with me. Right? Right? So if I take anything that's not spotted, right? If I got anything that's not spotted or speckled or brown on the sheep, that should be counted stolen. So I stole from you, pops, unks. And Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to thy word. I would it might be according to thy word. He contemplating this, yeah. And he removed that day, there he goes, that were ring straight and spotted, and all the she goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hands of his sons. Right? So that's what he did. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. All right, so Laban went to where, and so they were 3 days apart. Okay, so now he about to set them up. See what I'm saying? And this is what I'm trying to show y'all, because Jacob gets down with the get down. Jacob getting down with the get down. You trying to play Jacob? Yo, I'm a supplanter, Holmes. I'm gonna let you know right now. We gonna play this game, because I know you a supplanter, because you owns. All of my father Abraham was, Isaac was, I am, and you are. So guess what's going down? Verse 37. And Jacob took his rods of green polar and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and peeled white streaks in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had peeled from before the flocks in the gutters, in the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle, ring-striped, speckled, and spotted. So now he up there setting it up, setting debt that these animals going to get these spots on them, right? That's what he's doing the same thing he did with Isaac, right? We doing this. That was Isaac and Esau. He's doing the same thing. This is his name, supplant. So what makes you think he didn't supplant that night with Leah, where he knew he ain't gonna lose because he was promised Rachel, and LeBron know this. It's psychology, baby. It's game, it's warfare, spiritual, and the Most High made it go down like that. How about that? He allowed it to go down like that, right? And it came to pass, whence permissible with, and it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, and it came to pass, whenever the strongest cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods, right? So he set the thing up when they came to, lay with each other, that they would get these rods that I guess they have touched. I'm gonna look more into that. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle and man service and camels and asses. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna look up some of these things. Hold on, let me look up this thing real quick. Let's see what that ring start means. Let me go to the Google letter right quick. Let me make sure I know exactly what's being said before I go into the Bing doctrines. Brother, you're going off. Bringing forth the doctrines, brother. But this is the story. It's just showing you the process of things, how Jacob was a supplanter, man. He's a supplanter, period. Okay, so that's the end of. I'm just going to close out on that. I'll probably go over it a little later. So, Ka'al Shara, the Bar Yahweh, Ma'ashah, Wana Shemai. All that Yahweh has said, we will do and hear. Okay, so that's chapter 31. Okay, I'm going to be honest. It's 4:41. I usually don't get fatigued in the scripts, but I am getting a little fatigued today for some reason, I guess. If y'all want me to continue, I will continue. I don't want nobody to get bored out their mind and I'm ready to go. I'm tired. I want you to just bounce and dip. If you want me to go, we can finish reading. I don't have to edify too hard, but I can continue. But it's 4:41. If y'all want me to continue, I'll continue. Put a 1. If not, we can close out the Shabbat. I'll do a prayer, and we can do. I could go over it, maybe tomorrow or during the week, over 31, 32. I mean, I don't like to read something just to read it without edifying and going through it. All right, but it's a very interesting story that's going down here. It's like, it's crazy. I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna read Genesis 31. And he heard the words of Laban's son. I hope y'all got your Bible out. Have your Bible out because I can't share because I haven't been invited for my laptop, which I can share at the screen. So hopefully you're reading, okay, or you're listening attentively, okay. So let me endure to the end. I'm just going to finish the Torah portion. And he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our fathers, and of that which was our fathers have he gotten all this glory. So Laban had sons. going back to when Rachel was keeping the little flocks that they had. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not towards him as before. Right? So I'm thinking, and I'm going to have to go into it if he, because something have to do with them conceiving and having children. Or how he may have manipulated something that they ate, and then they had children, and then the kids came out with these spots and stuff like that. And now the Most High blessing Jacob through the kids that these flocks is having, and now Laban is finished because he made a vow. He made a spiritual vow that, all right, that's what's up. Okay, right? Okay, because it mentioned about conceive, so it's something that they put together that these animals will come out like that. Okay, but anyway, verse 2. This is 31:2, Genesis. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban. You can tell a man by his countenance. And behold, it was not towards him as before. Now it's not the loving pops. Now unks. It's the suspicion. It's the evil suspicion. It's the jealousy world's coming in. And Yahweh, verse 3, said unto Jacob, return unto the land of thy fathers, into thy kindred, and I will be with thee. Right? So here go that statement to Jacob about what we read earlier. And so he's telling you, I'm with you. And he's telling you, you're going to return to the land of thy fathers, into thy kindred. Okay? Okay? But remember that other part said, dust of the earth. So that part can't possibly be then at all still. But it's part of it. And verse 4. And Jacob, all praise Azariah, and Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that is not towards me as before, but the power of my father have been with me. So how is they being relatives that he's saying that the power of my father, because the Most High was dealing directly with Abraham, Isaac, and with Jacob, not the other brothers. Directly with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That line, that lineage of Terah, not Lot's children, not Noah's children, but Abraham's offspring, and through Isaac, not Ishmael, not the children of Keturah. So you can be of the same family, of the same loins and lineage, Negro. Doesn't mean the Most High is going to be dealing with that other sons. Just in the case of Solomon and Nathan. The promises was given through Solomon. Period. Not through Nathan. Pull a scripture. All right. Sorry about that one. And you know, verse 5. He said, I see your pops, man, countenance, man. It's not good for me. I got to bounce, basically. Right? Verse 6. Genesis 31:6. And you know that with all my power I have served your father, and your father have deceived me. So he go right there and say he deceived them. So I can't go against that scripture there. And change my wages 10 times. But the Most High suffered him not to hurt me. So Laban is a deceiver. This is what I'm saying. He is a deceiver himself. Right? And Jacob is a supplanter. He's a supplanter. And deceive me and change my wages 10 times, but we don't have no record about how this happened. Okay? 10 times. I know, when he had lay with Leah and Rachel, Leah, he said, rock another 7 years. Right? So that's 14. And now he's trying to make him do something else. All right? But obviously, it's other things that was happening. But the Most High suffered him not to hurt me. If he said, thus, the speckled shall be thy wages. Then all the cattle bear speckle. And if he said, thus, the ringstalk shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ringstalk. Thus the Most High will take away the cattle of your father and giving them to me. So now the Most High made all the cattle that he had get the speckled worlds on it. Ah, man. That man finished back to the beginning worlds, back when you had a few cattle. And it came to pass, that's why the sons was like, they took it all, the cattle, man. Yo, he said, it says in verse 1, said, he heard the words of Jacob, the boss. So said, Jacob, take away all that was our fathers. We don't got nothing, right? In verse 9. Boy, that's crazy. Verse 9, and the Most High take away all the cattle, taking away the cattle of your father and giving them to me. All the cattle. Oh, it says take away the cattle. Okay, you don't add. And the Most High taken, verse 9, and the Most High taken away the cattle of your father and giving them to me. All right. But on the top, the son says all. Oh man. Verse 10, and it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived. Okay, so it obviously was some potion that they mixed up in the food that they ate, that they made them do this. That I lifted up my eyes and saw in a dream. And behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle, were ring-stalked, speckled, and gristled. Right? So there was dreams that Jacob was getting, obviously. And the angel spoke unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, here am I. And he said, lift up now thy eyes and see. All the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring-stalked, speckled, and gristled. For I've seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. So Laban was doing all type of shicey stuff to Jacob. Obviously, we getting into context, more context clues. Right? I am Yahweh. I am the power of Bethel, which thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Now here's the women asking about their inheritance. Everybody trying to get something. Sons trying to get something. Daughters trying to get something. Are we not counted of him strangers? Question, are we slaves? So this also goes into the daughters of Zelophehad. Okay? The Manassites that wanted inheritance from their father when they didn't have no sons, that the inheritance fall down to the sons, but to the daughters. See how Genesis be relating to the things that's happening in the law? And Rachel Leah answered, said to him, is there yet any portion on the inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he hath sold us and have quite devoured us our money. Right? So they saying, well, he sold us to you for a dowry, I guess, and have quite devoured also our money. For all the rich with the Most High will take it from our father, that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever the Most High have said unto thee, do. Right? So now they like, hold on, we rocking with you. See what I'm saying? Right? We rocking with you. Because it's almost like they saying, well, whatever was ours anyway is yours. If it was going to be given down to us, it was going to be yours. But if the sons were going to get everything and they wasn't going to get nothing, then shoot, they glad that the Most High giving you everything versus their brothers. Right? Because when you going to treat us like a stranger, like we don't exist. Right? So they with it. They following their man, baby. They following their man. Which one of you guys, you sisters, going to follow your man? right? So we got reference that a man was living with his father-in-law and his wife, his wives. Okay. Now, Jacob arose and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he have gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he have gotten in Pandaram, for to go to Isaac, his father, in the land of Canaan. So Isaac was still alive. Right? And Laban went to shear his sheep. Right? And Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. So that's another reason they had to bounce, because this dude was an idolater. So the Most High is bringing judgments on him. Right? They got all type of idols and all type of matters. So they're not keeping, the tradition. Well, they are keeping the traditions of their father. Abraham was set apart, and Isaac was set apart, and Jacob was set apart from Esau. Look at that. Abraham was set apart from Haran and Nahor, because Laban is the son of Nahor, I believe. Okay? All right? Or is it Haran? And Nahor had Lot. Okay? Because when you read the story, Lot, the children of Lot was with Laban in them. Okay? That's when the brother said the children of the east. Right? So, verse 19, Genesis 31:19. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob stole away, and Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, and that he told him not that he fled. Okay? So they saying Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, and that he told him not that he fled. So it could have been that Jacob is being responsible and given the responsibility of what Rachel stole under his authority, because he didn't steal the flock. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he basically prayed and supplanted the worlds. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river and set his face towards Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. So he had a 3-day advantage on him. He was out. I'm taking my wife, my children, the cattle, everything. Right? And verse 24. And the Most High came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him, take heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. Wow, what kind of, woo, boy, you got the voice from the heavens come to thou and tell you, y'all, make sure, man, watch your words, man. Don't speak good or bad to Jacob. God doing a Harlem shook. I'll be shook, man, for real. Right? And Laban overtook Jacob. Right? So okay, he got the little sayings from the Most High. Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. Verse 26. And Laban said to Jacob, what hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughter? So he said, you stealing my daughters, as captives taken with the sword. So he's still claiming his daughter. Right? Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly and steal away from me? And didst not tell me that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, and tabrets, and with harps? Now you know he added all the mustard. He added all the mustard to the turkey and cheese, right? Sandwich. He know he didn't want that man to go nowhere at all. He know he hating right now. But he gonna add the mustard to the turkey sandwich. Right? All the mustard. Okay? That man talking about sending you away with mirth and song, tabret, with harp and everything. And has not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters. Thou hast now done foolishly in so doing. So, man, you're going to just try to sneak up out here with my damn children? Hold on, wait for me. You just want to go take my children, my daughters, my grandchildren, sons, and all that? It is in the power. He ain't listening to nothing what the Most High said, obviously. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt, Negro. Yo, my man LeBron is steam. Yo, my man ain't playing. My man is steam right now. He's like, yo, my man, your fan, man. You know I can hurt you, dog? My dude. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt, fam. But the Most High of your Father, now you bringing it down. But the Most High of your Father spake unto me yesterday, right? Yesterday, but it was yesterday. That's a nice one right there. For you, daytime, evening, one day is this, making up doctrines. Yesterday is also, yes, as a yesterday, and is a yesterday. Woo, good one. Missed that in that class. Saying, take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob, either good or bad. And now, though thou wouldest need be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, he feeling some type of way. You want to go to your father's house, my sister's husband, right? Yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? Said that's what he really worried about now too. Now he comes on, you stolen my gods. Where you got my gods at, no? You want to take my daughters? You want to take my sons? You want to take my livestocks? And now you want to take my gods? Oh, man, we got the problem. This man felt like he about to be totally hawk, Samchawan, smashed. Right? Verse 31. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, peradventure, thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. See? He said, man, this nigga gonna take his daughters, my wives, from me, man. I'm about to dip. Showing you that the father still can have some type of power. And what are you gonna do? You can't touch his father. You can't hurt his father-in-law. Give me my daughters back like Saul did. Give me my daughter back, David. I'm going to give her to another man. See? My little niece says yesterday too, all day. All praise. Has his family, money, everything just going. Everything gone. My man looked at the empty zone. Everything empty. Just imagine that was you. You come home and everything gone. You be finished too. Right? Yeah. Right? And it says, and Jacob answered, verse 31, and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, peradventure thou wouldst take by force thy daughters from me, with whomsoever thou findest thy gods. With whomsoever thou findest thy gods. Let him not live before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. But Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. Okay, so let me read that again. Verse 31. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said peradventure, thou wouldst take by force thy daughters from me. He's scared to lose his wives. With whomsoever thou findest thy goods, thy gods. Right? Right? So if the daughter took out the gods, you're gonna take it. Let him not live before our brothers, son, thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. Okay, so he knew he was concerned about his wives and his family. Man, like, yo, hold on, we out. That's what I'm concerned about. We about to bounce. Okay, now you're talking about some gods and stuff like that. All right, so Laban went to Jacob's tent. Now he's looking for his idols, and he went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent. Wait a minute. Everybody got their own room, and into the two maid servants' tent. Oh, let me read that again. Oh yeah, the two maid servant tents. They had their own tent, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent and entered into Rachel's tent. So everybody had their own tent, brother. So you can have your own room. You can call that the what we call it, the room in the basement, a man cave, your own studio, your own room. Okay, that way you wouldn't want, especially in a poly situation, you wouldn't want to get too attached that thou not laying in the bed every night with thou tripping. Okay, Jacob had his tent. They love to say that. Yeah, you want more than one wife, you can have Rachel and Leah had her own tent. What you talking about? Let's go to Walmart. Let's go to Walmart, Amazon. Which one you want to do? Walmart, they got $9.99 tents. $9.99, $14.99 and up, baby. Which one you want? You want the one-person special? Two-person special. If you ain't got no children, right? You only need a one room special. What you want? What size tent? 6-man tent? Which one you want, baby? Okay, verse 34. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. Now look how slick Rachel is, right? Rachel was dealing with idolatry. She still want to keep the idols. See that? There's another thing about maybe why she died. Because she coming from her father that kept these idols that Abraham left. He left that land, right? And established Isaac, established Jacob, but still married the daughters of the lineage. But now Rachel trying to bring the idols with Isaac. Okay? She's still holding on to their deities. And okay, let's go. And verse 35. And she said to her father, let it not displease my Lord that I cannot rise up. So she's calling her father Lord. You're supposed to call your husband Lord. For the custom of women is upon me. So what is the custom? The period, the menstrual cycles. And he searched, but found not the images. And Jacob was wroth and charged with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What is my sin? Hold up. So there was laws. There was laws back then. The commandments, they was keeping the law. Uh-oh. What is my sin that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hands this thou required, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Wow. He is a damn slave, Jacob. Thus I was in the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sheep departed. My sleep departed from my eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house, and I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle. And thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Okay, so good. Now we got more information. So when they made that pact about the cattle, it was a process of 6 years. So a total of 20 years. So between that time of the 6 years concerning the cattle, he started changing the wages. He started seeing these damn cattle and turning brown and speckled. And I'll tell you, hold on, wait. Let's renegotiate this deal right now, buddy. Hold on. We're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Woo, boy, it's funny. Yeah. Dang, boy, dang. Except the power of my father, the power of Abraham, see that? And the fear of Isaac had been with me. Man, surely thou hadst sent me away now empty-handed. He said, man, how you been doing me dirty and slimes? Boy, I wouldn't have a dang thing mess with you. You something else, man. Right? The most I have seen my affliction and the labor of my hands. Boy, 20 years is a long time, man. Let's count 20 years from where you at right now. You know what I'm talking about. I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it. Oh, Lord, I don't want to say it. God have sent my affliction and the labor of my hands. When you was in your 20s, boy, like, 20 years, I'll only be 39. That's right. Sure, I'm 39, 20 years, I'll be 59. I ain't saying no more numbers. Boy, them years go by. They don't go by fast, but they're going to go by. Most are blessed that you see them. Because they don't got to go by. They can go by you and you ain't here on the planet. But anyway, 42. And in the except the power of my father and the power of Abraham and the fear of Isaac has been with me surely. Thou hast sent me away now empty. The most I've seen my affliction and the labor of my hands and rebuked thee yesternight. Oh, he getting sliced. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters. Now Laban pulling out the trump card. Hold on, wait a minute now. Laban answered unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters. And these children are my children. And these cattle are my cattle. And all that thou seest is mine. God dang, Laban. Laban is crazy, boy. Laban says, shoot, you ain't going to supplant me. I'm going to supplant thou. Man. Woo-hoo. Debo Laban. Debo. Not Laban, Debo. His name should be turned to Debo. All right. So that man said, let me read that again for the deal. Laban answered said unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters. These children are my children. And these cattle are my cattle. And all that thou seest is mine. What can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children, which they have born? Right? What you talking about, Negroes? Now, therefore, come thou, let us make a covenant. That man trying to oppress the man. I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, gather stones. And they took stones and made an heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Jergath, Sahadath, Dutha, something like that. But But Jacob called it Galeed. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Galeed. 49. In Mizpah, for he said, Yahweh watch between me and thee, when we are absent one from another. 50. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, all right, there go your domestic violence, beating them down, all type of stuff, doing all type of crazy stuff. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives, here's the shutdown. Here's the shutdown. If thou shalt take other wives besides my daughters, no man is with us. See, so this is them. The Most High, Yahweh, when two or more gather in my name, there am I amongst you. There you go right there in Genesis 31:50. No man is with us. See, the Most High power is witness betwixt me and thee. So at the end, that's a witness in itself. You can lie to man, but you can't lie to the Most High. And Laban said to Jacob, behold this heap and behold this pillar, which I've cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be witness. So the heap is a witness outside of them. And this pillar be witness that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou should not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The power of Abraham and the power of Nahor. Now he's trying to mention his father, right? Because Abraham and Nahor had inherited a power from their fathers. The Most High removed Abraham from that. He kept it, being the son of Nahor, right? The God of their father judged betwixt us. So now he will have a competition of the powers. Yahweh, power Abraham, and the power of Nahor, the idols, right? The God of their father judged betwixt us. And Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. And Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. Because he remember that blessing that he got. You remember that Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount. So there goes an animal sacrifice. For you anti-Meatalites. Called his brethren to eat bread, and they did eat bread and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning, Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters and blessed them. And Laban departed and returned on to his own what? Place. Called Asherah, Bar Yahweh, Naishah, or Naishemai. All that Yahweh have said we would do in here. All right. So I'll just finish this Torah portion. The next chapter is only how many verses? 32, 1 through 2. Okay, so we're only reading 2 verses in chapter 32. All right, all praise and glory to the Most High. Let's get it. Genesis 32:1. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of the power, Yahweh, met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is Yahweh, our power, the Elohim of hosts. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. Right? Quick. Let me see what that word means. Let's see. Let me get that. Genesis 32. All right. The angels, the Elohims came to holler at Jacob. And that word, that word is wow. Mahanaim. 2 camps. All out. How about that? 2 camps for you anti-Campbellites. A place east of Jordan named for Jacob's encounter with angels. 2 camps. Since y'all try to demonize the word camp, right? It's not demonized in the scripture. Just that you Nubalites always got something to dang say. All right? Okay? So I guess we're going to stop there because that's the portion, right? Genesis 28, 10 to 32. Oh, we're at 7th chapter, 32nd chapter. Do I stop at the second verse? Okay, I guess I'll read the whole chapter. It's only 32 verses. And Jacob went on his way, and the angel of the Most High met him. And when Jacob saw him, he said, "This is the Elohim, the other one, right, of hosts." And he called the name of that place 2 camps. And Jacob sent messages before him to Esau, his brother, onto the land of Seir, the country of Edom, right? And he commanded them, saying, "Thus shall you speak unto my Lord," humbling himself, Esau. "Thy servant Jacob said thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses and, well, he don't say and I have oxen and asses, flocks, and men servants and women servants." So Jacob came out of there bawling. "And I was sent to tell my Lord that I may find grace in thy sight." And the messages returned to Jacob, saying, "We came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee with 400 men with him." Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed. Why? Can you remember that oath? He said, "I will kill my brother Jacob." So Jacob obviously is coming around his territory. So he's like, I got to send a peace treaty there, a little peace. Send an olive branch. See how he moving in the spirit. It's been 20 years and he's still grudging. Right? And so, where I'm at. Verse 7. Now Jacob was greatly afraid of distress, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and the herds and the camels, into 2 bands, and said, "If Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape." So he must have came out with a lot. He's balling. Most I blessed him in 20 years. And Jacob said, "O power of my father Abraham, and power of my father Isaac, Yahweh, which saidest unto me, return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee." So, hold on, Lord, this is what thou sayest. In Genesis 28, 10, 15, you said it. I'm just reminding Islam, I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth. Now, why would he say that? Jacob be on his stuff because he knows he's a supplanter. But he is a good guy in spirit, but that's his lot. He was born a supplanter. Facts. "Which thou hast showed unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan. Now I am become 2 bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau." This is a prayer. We can use this prayer. "For I fear him, lest he will come and smite me and the mother with the children." Because that's the vibration Esau was going to have. "And thou saidst, I will surely do thee good and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. So even though this was promised to him, he's still having some type of doubt because 400 dudes is about to pop up. And you know, Esau said, I'm about to finish you. And you know, he had to dip out. So even though, you know, faith without works is dead, you have to go through some trials and tribulations and still yet to be tested. But he still leaned on and prayed and remind the Most High about what he said, what he promised. We do the same thing. And he lodged there. Matter of fact, he said, and thou says, I will surely do thee good, verse 12, 32 and 12, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And he lodged there that same night and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother. 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 eels and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their coats, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 foals. I'm going to break down how much all of that is worth. I'm going to write all of that down and show you how much bread this man had. For him to give up all that, that's a lot of money right there. I'm telling you. Just for the cost of a goat. You know what I'm saying? Like this person, how much is a she-goat today? A she-goat female will range from $250 to $300. So which one of y'all good in your math over there? Let's stay at the high end. $300 a goat. $300 a goat. They had 200 goats. So 300 goats times 200 goats times 300, 0, 0. That's 4 zeros and 6. Right? What's that? 6,000. Right? No, that's 10,000. Well, that's 15,000, right? I'm bugging out. 3. I'm tripping. Let me get my little pen. I know I'm bugging out right now. Let me write this thing right here. I know I'm bugging out. 200 times 300. So each goat, he gave us 200 she-goats. Yeah, 60,000. Thank you. I know I'm bugging out, man. 4 digits is 1,000. Like, right, we in 60. That's 5 digits, man. That's 60,000. I don't know what the hell I'm going on with me. $60,000 just with the she-goats. 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats. Hold on, let's get this number. Keep that number there, 6,000. We have to keep it going. $60,000. Let's just say today's price, right? So we got he-goat. Often sold around $100. Wethers or neutered male goats are typically cheaper, often sold for around $100. Okay? Unneutered males are next to price, typically between $150, $250. Boom. So let's deal with the $100. $100 a goat for the males. Cheaper worlds. The male is cheaper goat status. Right? So how many goats? 20 he goats. Right? And 100, that's 2. What's that? Man, I'm acting like I can't add that. Boy, that's crazy. 20 he goats. 20, 100 times 20. 3, $2,000, right? $2,000 is $62,000. And then you got 200 eels. So I can waste the time because I mean I want to because it's fun. You got the 200 eels. 200 eels. He's almost at so he's over almost 100,000 already, right? He just giving him a gift. This is a gift. The Most High bless this man like, God dang. Female sheep is called an eel, right? Female sheep, right? So put them numbers up there, none y'all see, and 200 eels, right? 200 eels. Let's see how much an eel costs. Between 200 to 250. Let's just keep it even. 200. Okay? 200. Where's the thing at? So we got, right? 40,000, right? 100,000 already. 100,000 already. 100,000. $102,000 already. That's just from the she goats, the 200 she goats, the 20 he goats, the 200 eels, and now 20 rams. Let's see how much the rams cost. How much is a ram? They got trucks. Oh, man. A ram between $100 to $150. Acceptable ram for 100 to 150. So we can go to the high end, but let's just keep it an even number. Right? So we got $100 for rams. How many rams is here? It says 20 rams, right? So that's $2,000. Another $2,000, right? 60,000, 40,000. We got two 2,000s. So that's $4,000 total right there. Let's put that up there. We got 4,000 in there. 4,000, 4 G's. He's already giving this man 100,000 in gifts thus far, right? And 30 milch camels with their coats, right? Let's see what that is. We just estimate and guesstimate. That's all it is. Estimate. You know what that is. Right? Right. All day. So let's see. Let's see how much money this is. So at the end of the day, I can be like, what is this? This is a little cow, right? Milch is a cow, isn't it? Milch cattle. Right. Let me go here. Milch, 30 milch camels. Okay. Camels, my bad. Milch camels cost. How much does a milch camel cost? A camel costs around 5,000 to 20,000. God dang. Oh man. All right. It says it costs around $2,000 USD to care for a camel annually. So let me go back to this price. A camel costs between $5,000 and $20,000. It says. So let's deal with the high end. Bump that. It says So let's do it the high end, 20,000. So we could do it 5,000. You know, let's do 5,000 because you know it's gonna be more than that. So 5,000 for a camel. It says here, I Googled it. A camel costs around 5,000 to 20,000 in the U.S. While the same cattle costs around $500 to $3,500 in Australia. Well, in Australia it's cheaper. So let's deal with Australia. Let's deal with $3,500 in Australia. And the coat. We ain't got to do the baby, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why we about to double the price. Bunk it. Double the price. Let's say 10,000. That'll cover the baby and all that. Let's say 7,000. That's 7,000. Let's say $7,000. $7,000. So how many 30 milch camels with their coats, right? Dang, that's 210,000. 210,000. 210,000. Hold on. 210,000. I'm about to end. I'm about to close in a second. Right. 210,000. Okay. And 40 kind. 40 kind. Almost done. Hold on. Okay. That's still a cow. That's a cow. Okay, so that's a cow, right? Another word for cow. Okay. Kind. So we got 40 cows, right? How much is a cow cost? All right, they got between 2,000 and 5,000. Let's go to the high end. 5,000. Let's go 5,000. How many cows it said? 40 cows. Right? So we said 5,000. 40 cows. 20. 200,000. Right? 200,000. Right? Right? So we got at $5,000 a cow, and we have 40 cows, right? Okay, 200,000. Okay, now we're gonna look up 10 bulls, cows. I guess it was female, right? A bull. A bull is 4,400 to 4,800. So let's do 4,800. 4,800 for the bull. Somebody get that? 4,800 for the bulls, and that's 10. So that's 48,000, right? 48,000. Put the 48,000 up there. 48,000 for the bulls. 48,000. Then we got 20 she-asses, donkey. Right? Y'all put the 48. All right, 48,000. And the she-ass, ass is a donkey. They from 700 to 1900. Let's do 1900. Let's do it even 2000. 2000 says 8 months old can cost 15 to 2000. So let's deal with 2000. So 20 asses. 20 asses, and they cost again how much? 2,000. So that's 5 zeros with 4 zeros and 4. 40,000. 40,000 bucks for the ass, for the she asses. 40,000. And now we got and 10 foals. Let me see what that is. I don't know what the hell it is, brother. Foals. Foals animal. Let me see. Oh, it's a foal is an equine up to 1 year old. This term usually mainly for horses. Oh, that's a horse. Okay. Horse. All right. Well, that's a term for horses. Coat or for a male horse. Okay. How much for a male foal? How much do a male horse cost? The average cost is around 3,000. Boy, shit, we don't see no damn horse. Look out there. Boy. How much for a horse? Right, they got to buy a horse. You can expect to pay between 100 to 10,000, depending on the horse pedigree. The average cost of a hobby horse is about 3,000. Okay, so let's just deal with the 3,000. We ain't gotta go to the high end. Let's do 3,000 for the horse. 10 horses, 3,000, 30,000. So how much money we got total? How much of this gift he gave the damn Esau? Right? Who gonna put that answer up there? Dude, man, there's all type of making a mess. Right? We're gonna add that up for us. Let's get that grand total of how much it's gonna cost for Jacob to buy some time from from Esau. So we got 210,000 there, 104,000, another 200,000. We got yeah. That's all together. That's 104,000, right? 104,000. Then you got 210,000. Then it was what? Let's make sure I get these numbers right. So far, 104,000. Let me do that. 104,000. Then there was 210,000. Then there was 200,000. Then there was 48,000. Then there was 40,000. That's the number. So, boom, 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 boom. 8, 4, 8, 4. Nope, that's 12. 1, 2, 4, 8, 6. This is over 600,000, $500,000, man. It's over $500,000. over 500,000. Right? So we got 632. We can deal with that. We over $500,000 that was given to Esau. And it said it was a gift. Let me get that. A present. Verse 13. And he lodged there that night and took of that which came to him, that came to his hand, a present for Esau his brother. 500,000. 200 she goats, 20 he goats, 200 ewes, and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their coats, 40 kine, and 10 bulls, 20 she ass, 10 foals, and he delivered them into the hands of his servants. Every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, when Esau my brother meeteth thee and asketh thee, saying, whose art thou, and whither goest thou, and whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, they be thy servants Jacob. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau. And behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the droves, saying, oh, this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him, and say ye moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us, for he said, I will appease him with the present that go up before me, and afterward I'll see his face, peradventure he will accept of me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he arose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. Oh, I can't eat no chicken thigh, because Jacob wrestled with the angel, brother. You can't eat no thighs. Doctrines of devils. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. He said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name should be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power. So Israel are the princes and princesses of the Most High. I mean, we are the sons and daughters. Exodus 4:21 or 4:22. For as a prince has thou power with the Most High and with men, and has prevailed. Regardless of where we at, we have already prevailed, Israel. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou doest ask after my name? And he blessed him there. So you ain't got to worry about my name, right? And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel. Cattle here up the pineal ground. For I've seen the Most High power face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose up upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore, the children of Israel eat not the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh, until this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. All right, so they do not eat the sinew. Let's see what that is. Hey. Somebody trying to lead us thou as leaders. Okay, so we basically done after I look up this definition, but boom. I was about to give up, y'all. On the least of the Torah portion, we got through it. All praise glory to the Most High. Okay. Gid. I mean, as a matter of fact, I don't like this right here. Let me just look at him and think, this is going to show us be a style. A piece of tough fibrous tissue uniting muscle to bone or bone to bone, a tendon or ligament, the sinews in her neck. That's why you must make sure you clean thy meatus file. Okay? So we have concluded the Torah portion of the law portion. Okay? Of the law portion. All right? All praise and glory to the Most High. Right? For getting us through this. Ka'ah Sharad, the Bar Yahweh, Naisha, Wana Shemai, all that Yahweh has said we would do and hear. All praise and glory to the Most High. We got through the Torah portion, Genesis. Give yourself a round of applause. The Shabbat is over here in the Central Time, Midwest, right? It's a Reynolds rap, baby. Okay. Man's going to the Lord. I didn't expect to get on this call for real style, but I got on it and we got through it. All praise God to the Most High. If y'all enjoyed the Torah portion, if you learned anything or you was just edified or you just went over some stuff, all right, put a 12 in there for the 12 tribes of Israel. We have completed and finished the Torah portion. All right. All right. So I'm about to get myself together for my evening. I hope you guys do too. Also, I will see y'all in the next class. Somebody popped up. Somebody's all right. Somebody about to cut it off. Cut it off. All praise and glory to the Most High. So y'all be good. I'm your brother Mahara Kar. Bunyawada Bunyashrala. Right? E37 Ministry, Army of Israel, or Army of Israel, E37. Men of valor, the few, the ready, one love, one nation, one king. All right? Y'all be good. All praise and glory to the Most High.